Welcome back to the Final K. We've got stage 6 off the Tour de France. It is the Col de Tourmalet stage today. It is a very big day. One rider up the road on his own in the breakaway, and that is Ben O'Connor. He's got a gap of about a minute and 20 seconds at the moment. I'm on an ad break, so I don't really know what's going on in the stage for the past 5 minutes, but the Col d'Aspin is coming up. 12 kilometres, 6.5%, and it looks like no break. Well, there was a few riders got away up the road at the start of the day. It was Hubarts got away, Victor Kampenaerts, Mads Pedersen. I think they got caught there after the intermediate sprint, because I think Victor Kampenaerts was out in his own after that, because Mads Pedersen took the points in it and then dropped off, and then they got brought back in. Then Ben O'Connor, he did an attack. His attack succeeded, but he's unfortunately on his own. So he is. We've got the visuals back now. 79.9 kilometres to go. They have started the Col d'Aspin, and it is Ben O'Connor leading us on it by himself, with the peloton 50 seconds down, so they should catch him fairly quickly. The lad before they went to the air break, it was Uno X that were controlling the front of the peloton, so they were not UAE or Visma. It was Uno X. Obviously, Torstein Tran still in the yellow jersey as well, with that gap of 7:53 on Pogacar and 8 minutes plus on everyone else. But here we go. Camera's back on the peloton. They have now started the Col d'Aspin. It is Magnus Cort. He's at the front for Uno X. Hagenez is at the front for Visma, and then there is a rider that has just went to the front. They've went into the shade, so I can't see who that is. It is Niels Pollitt for UAE Emirates, followed by Tim Wellen. So both of the big guys at the front on the Col d'Aspin. They should reel this gap down very, very quickly. But at the start of the stage, on the very first, that's the stage in the bottom right of your screen as well. That Category 4 climb at the start of the day, the whole peloton split into a bunch of pieces. Riders that got caught out, Evenepoel, he was probably the main one that got caught out. Red Bull had, I think there's about a 30-second gap from them to Tadej Pogacar and Jonas Vingegaard. They were safe in the front bunch, but everyone else got caught out, and then he obviously got brought back. But we're now starting the main part of the stage. UAE are at the front, and let's see how this plays out. I've got obviously the yellow jersey on your screen. After yesterday, it still stays the same. Torstein Tran in first, Sean Quinn second, and Vasek in third after their breakaway. Their breakaway worked out in stage 4. So it did. Tadej Pogacar and the usual suspects from 4th to 10th. Obviously, Ramses de Bruyne is another one there. He sat in 6th. He did well in the breakaway. He got away and brought back a bunch of time as well. Hello, Luke. How are you, my dearest friend? You all good? As for the green jersey, it changed a lot yesterday after the stage, because it was a sprinter stage, and that is what the green jersey currently looks like now. Mads Pedersen still in the lead for it, 143 points. Benim Girmay, everyone else, within 9 points of each other from second to 5th. Olav Koy, Phillips, and Max Cantor and Benim Girmay. Obviously, Max Cantor won the stage. Olav Koy won the stage yesterday. Good morning, Steve. I'm good, look, thanks. I'm good. Glad to hear you're doing well. The gap for Ben O'Connor, 44 seconds, and it is still Niels Pollitt and Tim Wellens at the front, and I'm expecting them to be at the front of this peloton for the majority of this climb until Ben O'Connor is caught. But it'll be a while here before the Col de Tourmalet. I think we're probably looking at about 30 kilometres. Warren Barguil, he's just dropped from the peloton according to PCS. But it is unfortunate we don't have a much bigger breakaway. I thought a bigger breakaway would have went up the road. I wouldn't have expected them to succeed today, but it is unfortunate that they are. Yes, thank God you didn't, look. Thank God you didn't. All right, Lynn. Ben's your pick for the day. Well, it looks like it is currently working out for Ben O'Connor. There is someone from Decathlon dropping from the peloton. That is Cass Ball. So, this is the. What group is this? Jens Voigt is currently talking, so he is, but I'm just trying to figure out what group they are showing on the live feed at the moment. They've already done 2.5 kilometres off this climb already. But the peloton 45 seconds down. Visma Lease Bike rider, he's in third wheel, but Niels Pollitt, Tim Wellens doing all of the work. Well, Niels Pollitt's at the front. He's going to be the first man to do his job. Tim Wellens will be up next. But let's see how many riders they can shave off of this peloton over the top of the Col d'Aspin, and if Ben O'Connor actually still remains out front on his own. But as I was saying, that is that's what the green jersey's looking like. Obviously, Mads Pedersen, he won today's sprint stage, so add another 25 points onto that, and he's currently sitting on 168 points. Biniam Girmay, well, actually Max Cantor gets 16 points, so he's going to go ahead of Biniam Girmay. Actually, they might tie. They might. I think Biniam Girmay and Max Cantor are going to be in the same points, but Philipsen is moving up to 86. Juan Ayuso apparently has had a mechanical. PCS is just updating there. That is not good, especially on this climb. So hopefully, I wonder what Little Trek are going to do there. If they're going to drop Scalmuza and all back and try and bring him back, or if they're going to leave Scalmuza in the front group just in case they can't bring him back. Not sure why nobody else joined Ben. Think Taddy. Yeah, that's the only. Well, the breakaway wasn't successful at the start of the day. Hubarts, Mads Pedersen, and Victor Kampenarts. I think Visma Lease Bike were trying to replicate the tactics of this stage in 2023, and it didn't work. But when they got caught, Ben O'Connor was the only other one to attack, and it didn't go. Well, it's still good, but he's still out. That's what I'm trying to say. But he's on his own. I would have liked to see a bigger breakaway, but I think everyone else is switched on to the point that they know it's not going to go anywhere. Who's going to get mogged and who's going to get dropped today? That is a big. My prediction for the stage, I'm going for Tadej Pogačar. I think that has got him. This stage is him written all over. There's Roman Gregoire dropping now. Juan Ayuso's time is up, so Peloton's 42 seconds down on Ben O'Connor. Juan Ayuso is 1 minute and 3 seconds down on Ben O'Connor, so there's a 20-second gap at the moment. Hopefully he's able to bring it back in, and he doesn't overextend himself on the Col d'Aspin, and he's able to, keep it something similar, maybe catch up on the descent, but hopefully he doesn't lose all his energy trying to bring it back. You've got Kane getting dropped today. I can't see him getting dropped just because of the sheer fact that he has apparently got a virus. Oh, there we go. Kane at the Brooks has dropped. PCS is updating. He's 10 seconds down on the peloton. But there's loads of people dropping off now. There's Engelhardt, the German champion. He's dropping off. Dorian Gudon's dropped. There's the Juan Ayuso group now. So we have got cameras on Juan Ayuso, 36 and 32. Derek G. West and Tom Scoynes are the two teammates currently with him. They're obviously wearing the yellow helmets and the yellow numbers because for the team classification. But Kane at the Brooks has dropped. Juan Ayuso has dropped. Juan Ayuso has a couple teammates with him. One of them is not. Neither of them are Scalmuza. So Scalmuza is obviously still going to be in that front group. At the front of the peloton, though, every single rider at the front is a UAE rider, bar one Visma Lease Bike rider. At the back of that UAE train is obviously Tadej Pogačar. Isaac Del Toro sat about fifth wheel. Jonas Vingegaard has sat 2 wheels down on Tadej Pogačar. Barry and Victorious have 3 riders just alongside Tadej Pogačar and Jonas Vingegaard. UAE doesn't want a repeat of what happened a few years ago when Wout did his thing. I don't think we're gonna. Well, I mean, they would slightly want a repeat because that's when Tadej Pogačar went on to win the stage as well. But they obviously don't want anyone in the breakaway today. They want to control the race because they know what they are capable of, and they know what Tadej Pogačar is going to go and do here, provided everything goes smoothly. Juan Ayuso has made it back onto the peloton, I believe, because that is Tom's. Yeah, Juan Ayuso's back onto the peloton. That is good to see. But the gap, Ben O'Connor's holding his own here, 42-second gap, and it's been in and around that at the moment. So it's averaging out around 40-45 seconds for Ben O'Connor, and he's holding his own, which is good to see. But Niels Pollitt, front of the peloton, out of the saddle. 7.9 kilometers to go until the top of the Col d'Aspin. The Jasper Philipsen group is 5 minutes down, so I don't think they are going to make it back today. Polka dot jersey though. Obviously there's going to be 10 points for the rider who goes over the top of this climb. Hopefully Ben O'Connor gets the 10 points and then he switches on to go for the polka dot jersey. But that's what the polka dot jersey is currently looking like. Alex Boudin still in. He got 1 point yesterday, so he did. So he's up to 13 points. I actually should have changed that because Alex Molinar, he's abandoned the race. I forgot about that. Alex Molinar, he's the only one to have abandoned the race today. Oh, sorry, didn't start. Decline, he abandoned, so he did for Tudor Pro Cycling. So Alex Molinar, he didn't start after the crash yesterday. He fell, hit his head, couldn't remember the crash. He broke his hand, which is unfortunate because he's been the main man for Caja Real in the first 6 stage or the first 5 stages doing the attacks. He was even fighting for the points yesterday for that one single point in the polka dot jersey. So it is unfortunate to see him go. But hopefully he has a speedy recovery. I think they said he's going into surgery or something for his broken arm. And then finally the youth jersey. That is what the youth jersey is currently looking like. The only change in the youth jersey is that Raul Garcia Pierna takes the spot of Pablo Castillo in 10th position. And Davide Piganzoli swaps spots with Leonard Van Edveld. They're the only two differences from the white jersey yesterday than what it looks like today. And then as for the favourites of the stage, the gap for Ben O'Connor is actually going down to 38 seconds. But he should be able to do it's 7 kilometres to go before the top of that climb. So with Col de Tourmalet as well, it's got 20 points for the winner of it. I wonder if we'll see. I think Tadej Pogačar is going to be in the polka dot jersey at the end of the day. That's the way it's going to be looking. If he goes on to win the stage. But as for the favourites for today's stage, they are the favourites that I found for stage 6 of the Tour de France. Tadej Pogačar is the main favourite by a country mile. He's a really, really heavy favourite for today's stage. Isaac Del Toro is second favourite, which is a surprise. Bruno Amaral of Visma Leasebike, he's dropping off the back of the peloton as well. Glad to see he recovered from his crash. I thought with his knee something could have went wrong there, but he seems to be doing good as he's actually catching back up to the peloton here. So his knee seems to be all good. But that is the favourites. Isaac Del Toro in second, 12-1. Jonas Vingegaard in third, 14-1. I'm surprised Isaac Del Toro's ahead of Jonas Vingegaard. Obviously, maybe the bookies are expecting a 1-2 manoeuvre here from Isaac Del Toro and Tadej Pogačar on Jonas Vingegaard. But then you've also got the mixture of the breakaway riders involved in there. Valentin Pari-Pantry at 20-1. You could potentially say Richard Carapaz, but he hasn't yet decided if he wants to break away or go for GC. Where is he actually sitting? Let me actually try and see where he's sitting, because I still think he's within the top. He's still within, he's in 16th. So he's about a minute and 40, minute and 50 off Tadej Pogačar. So he's still within the limit of not being allowed in the breakaway just yet, but he is 28-1 for the stage. Lenny Martinez, 33-1. Alex Boudin, 33-1. Remco Evenepoel, 40-1. It's good to see him up there, even though he has a 40-1 chance. And then Thymen Arensman at 50-1 is the 10th favourite for the stage. There we go. Niels Pollitt, job done. He pulls to the side, and it is now up to Tim Wellens. The rider behind Tim Wellens is going to be Victor Campenaerts, and he's actually already gapped Victor Campenaerts. Yeah, Tim Wellens has already gapped the rest of the peloton. I don't think he's realised just yet, as he looks over his shoulder, and he's going to sit up a wee bit. But Victor Campenaerts, he moves towards the back. I don't know if that's him done for the day, or if he's not willing to do the pace Tim Wellens is doing. Is it raining? No, it is not. If it did rain, it would probably dry within minutes, because the sun's out yet again, and it's a scorcher. Mohoric, he's dropped off the back. 6 kilometres to the top of the Col d'Aspin. Today will be Remco's last day, you reckon? It's obviously going to be all eyes on Remco and Lipowitz for if you are a Red Bull fan or a Remco fan, or if you're a Remco hater as well. All eyes will be on Remco to see how well he does, and then you'll get everything on the internet after of, Remco's not good enough, etc., etc. I think he's going to do well. I thought he was looking pretty comfortable in the first. I think he looked pretty comfortable in stage 2 and stage 3. So I think. Well, I don't think he's going to be able to if Tadej Pogacar and Jonas Vingegaard go, I don't think he'd be able to go with them, but I think he'd be able to hold his own and still get a decent result after it. UAE picking up a few bottles there, the whole team do. Tadej Pogacar still sat as the no, he's not. He's sat alongside Adam Yates, and then behind, obviously, UAE is going to be Visma Leasebike. Ben O'Connor, the gap is 18 seconds now. So since Tim Wellens took over, pardon me, since Tim Wellens took over, he's already shaved off near 15 seconds on Ben O'Connor. Remco got caught out earlier in the stage. Yeah, I spoke about that there. So did the Category 4 climb. The whole peloton split into multiple different groups, and Remco was one of the ones that got caught out. I think he was about 30 seconds down on the Tadej Pogacar group. They brought it back in the end because they're all here now. But could that? I don't think he would have exerted himself a lot on that. There's Alex Boudin dropping off the back now. The polka dot jersey, AF Education Frenchman. He's dropping off the back. But hopefully Remco didn't use too much energy trying to get back on. I think he did have a lot of his team around him as well. But Tim Wellens at the front. No hands on the handlebars, and he's chasing Ben O'Connor. Crazy. The gap is now 10 seconds. Philipsen's gap and the sprinters group, they are 6 minutes and 30 down at the moment. There's Julian Alaphilippe, he's dropping. Cian at the Brooks, PCS are saying Cian at the Brooks are way out the back now. So he has. If you decide to go for it, might be the last day fighting for GC for a lot of riders. Yeah, it'll be the last day fighting for potential podiums for a lot of them. I think the rest of them will be fighting for, the top 10. If not, they'll just go for stage wins and see how that plays out. But hopefully it's not. I mean, if you look at it realistically, it looks like it is going to be this is like the final day of the Tour de France, pretty much, if we're being realistic. But I hope, fingers crossed, people are able to go and keep the time gaps at a minimal. Hello, Shelley. Magnus Cort Nielsen, he's dropped off the back now for Uno X, the Danish champion. Ben O'Connor has been caught. Ben O'Connor caught by the peloton. He didn't get out on his own for as long as he hoped. He didn't get to go under the Col de Tourmalet. He didn't get the 10 points at the top of the Col d'Aspin, but fair play to him for going solo. No one else went with him. It was the mountain version of the Baptiste Weisstraffer. Yeah, all good, Shelley. All good. 4.6 kilometers until the top of the Col d'Aspin. Then we descend down to the Col de Tourmalet. But it looks like UAE are taking control of this race. Team radio from Visma Leasebike. Just saying, keep a good position in the bunch behind UAE. That is our spot. They need to keep a good position behind UAE, even over the top of the Col d'Aspin, because they know how good that position will be in the descent. So that is what that is what Team Visma Leasebike are relying to their riders. And I mean, I don't see them being anywhere else other than the main team behind UAE, because that is where they have been for every single stage. Alright, Kat. But I'm annoyed there's no breakaway, because it limits what you can talk about, because now it is that Aaron Burry out the back? No, Ian Izagiri of Cofidis, he's away out the back now as well. Sergio Higuita of Astana, he's struggling at the back. Who's that for Ineos? That is Kevin Vauquelin as well. He's away out the back, or struggling to hang on to the back. He's now on the wheel of Sergio Higuita. There was a rider of Little Trek as well who seemed to be struggling towards the back. But Uno X as well, they are the team behind Visma Leasebike, and don't forget they're holding the yellow jersey at the moment. 7 minutes and 53 seconds is the time gap for Tadej Pogačar between himself and Torsten Trajan. I think Trajan's I think he's going to be able to hold on to the yellow jersey here today. He should be able to, near 8 minute gap. Tadej Pogačar gets an 8 minute gap here on the yellow jersey and goes into the yellow jersey after it. That rider for Little Trek I was referring to is Derek G. West. He's struggling at the back. Who is that for? Paripantra of Decathlon. He's away off the back as well of the peloton. He's the next victim. So there is one domestique down for Paul Sexas. If everyone else is still there, climbing domestique wise, that'd be Prodholm still there, Riccatello and Tish Benut. But one is down, 3 to go. But they're giving a wide shot here at this climb. And I couldn't think of anything worse. Just that big, long, straight uphill road in front of you. In the heat. Awful. Awful. But it's not long to the top, and then they can descend down. But who's going to attack first, and where are they going to attack? That is a big question. There's a rider from Movistar. He's about Raul Garcia Pierna. He's the one that sat in 10th in GC for the white jersey. There's G back. Quinn Simmons, he's away off the back. But Derek G, looks like Derek G was just collecting something from a car because he sprinted way up that climb there. So yeah, just grabbing water bottles for the team as he's away back up to the front. Lenny Martinez is still, Ben O'Connor's still at the back. Who's that? Is that Tish Benut towards the back of the peloton? That is Tish Benut. Antonio Tiberi of Bahrain Victorious, he's at the back. He's meant to be Bahrain's GC guy for this tour. So he is. He's meant to be the GC leader. Lenny Martinez is meant to be the stage hunter. But it looks like Tiberi's GC hopes are already done here if he can't hang on to the back of this group. They've got the time gap for Alex Boudin. He's 1 minute and 33 seconds down. They've obviously got his time gap up because he's the polka dot jersey. But he's already lost 1 minute and 36 seconds on the group. 3.2 kilometers to the top. Jasper Philipsen, their group is 7 minutes and 25 seconds down. But UAE still have 5 riders at the front, including Tadej Pogačar, Isaac Del Toro, Tim Wellens, Adam Yates, and Großschartner. They are the 5 remaining. Oh no, sorry, Brandon McNulty will be one. Actually, I wonder who it is. Oh no, there's 6. There's 6, sorry. Brandon McNulty and Großschartner will still be there. There's 6 remaining for UAE. The 2 that aren't there are going to be Florian Vermeersch and Niels Pollitt. There's Valentin Paripandreou Quick Step. He's actually in and amongst the Visma Lease bike riders on his own. I wonder if I think he might be eyeing up the 10 points here at the top of the Col d'Aspin. I think we might see a wee attack from him, which I wouldn't be against. See a wee bit of Emmanuel Macron, the French president. He is in attendance today. Where is he at? Where is he in attendance though? I think he's at the top of the Tourmalet. But Macron's in attendance. Wonder if he'll be able to give some of that French spirit to Paul Sexas to maybe put an attack over the Tourmalet. Wee bit of French motivation. Gasping for a breath just watching. Jonas looks less isolated than he did 10 minutes ago, but he's got his team around him now. They'll regroup on the Col d'Aspin and the descent. There's Ben O'Connor dropping off now. Ben O'Connor is struggling at the back of the peloton. But Visma Lease bike should be alright on the descent. Jonas Vingegaard's a pretty good descender. But Ben O'Connor, and there's Valentin Paripandreou. His attack is going off the front. He's looking them 10 points, 2.3 kilometers to go. And who's that for Uno X, who is also attacking? Uno X wants some point. Oh no, sorry, they're looking a a wee food satchel. There's Sean Quinn. Sean Quinn currently sat in second in GC. I'll cut back to GC there, but Sean Quinn for GC, 28 seconds down, and he's dropping on the Col d'Aspin. But Valentin Paripantry's got a very small gap on the UAE guys. I don't think UAE are going to let up on the tempo. They're just going to keep riding their own tempo. It's just whether Valentin Paripantry can hold out to the top. What are the temperatures like? They are, I'll see if I can get them here. The average temperature is sitting around 30 degrees, with the max being 33 degrees. There's Vasek, he's dropping out the back now, but that's what the temperatures are currently looking like. Average of 30 and a maximum of 33. 1.8 kilometers to the top of the Col d'Aspin. Pardon me. Valentin Paripantry still got a very small gap on UAE. And then they descend down towards the Tourmalet. Who's likely to win the stage? Well, they're the favourites that I found on the bookmakers website, with Tadej Pogačar being the favourite, and I think that Tadej Pogačar is going to be the most likely to go on to win this one. We seen him win it in 2023 when he surprise attacked Jonas Vingegaard, and we got that famous attack to Pogačar, that famous quote anyway. And that's where he did that. He didn't attack on the Col de Tourmalet. It was the climb after where he attacked. And there obviously is a climb after in this one as well. A very long drag of a Category 2 climb, 3.7% with some steep sections as well. But the main event is going to be the Col de Tourmalet, which we should be hitting in the next 10-15 kilometers. So we should. Don't forget, if you are new, welcome to the channel. But don't forget to like and subscribe as well. I'm going to be live for every single stage off the Tour de France up until the 26th of July for the final stage in Paris. So if you do enjoy this type of stuff, don't forget to subscribe. Means a lot. We're aiming for 1,000 here, so yeah, all support's appreciated. But Valentin Paripantry is still out of the saddle, still putting in his attack, but UAE aren't letting up. They're not giving up these 10 points easily. Well, obviously they're not going for the 10 points, but they're not easing up on the tempo. And like I said earlier, it's up to Valentin Paripantry to keep a decent enough pace to keep them at bay for a bit. Brings back memories of the 2001. Well, I was not born yet, so I can't say I remember that. I can't say I remember that stage. But if you think today's finish is a lot stronger, I will take your word on that one. But the gap here, they've got a time gap up now for Valentin Paripantry. The gap is actually increasing slightly. The gap is getting bigger. He's got a gap of 6-7 seconds now. Someone from Bahrain Victorious has attacked out the front as well. I'm hoping that is Lenny Martinez. And I'm going to assume it's Lenny Martinez because he obviously went for this jersey last year, got third in it. And he's looking to win it again. Or sorry. He's looking to have a chance at winning. It is Lenny Martinez, but he's looking to have a chance at winning it again. So he is. Will he be able to take these 10 points of Valentin Paripantry? Two Frenchmen fighting for the polka dot jersey. This will be interesting. But we've got a time gap now for Sean Quinn. He's 44 seconds down, and PCS are saying he's in a group with Vasek, Tiberi and Ben O'Connor. 400 metres to the top. Lenny Martinez has got a small gap behind Valentin Paripantry. Will he be able to close this gap down? 450. I don't know who I want to win him. Don't know who I want to win these 10 points, but he has caught him. Actually, I'm going with Lenny Martinez just because Valentin Paripantry beat Ben Healy. That's the only reason I'm going with him. Valentin Paripantry looks over his shoulder, realises Lenny Martinez has caught him. 350 metres to go for the top of the Col d'Aspin. Lenny Martinez comes through to the front. Valentin Pantry now on his wheel. And it looks like Valentin Pantry is going to get out of the saddle. Lenny Martinez follows. He's now out of the saddle, but no one's attacking just yet. Lenny Martinez now in the wheel of Pantry. There's a fan there with a basketball net looking for some bidons. 170 meters to the top. I think Lenny Martinez is going to open up the sprint. As he does, he comes up the left-hand side of Valentin Pantry. Valentin Pantry sprinting in the wheel of Lenny Martinez, but it looks like Lenny Martinez is going to pick up the 10 points at the top of the Col d'Aspin as he crosses the line. Oh no, the line's up a bit. There we go. As Lenny Martinez crosses. Ooh, photo finish at the top of the Col d'Aspin. But I think Lenny Martinez took them 10 points there. As the peloton cross the top of the Col d'Aspin now, they've got a gap of 10 seconds, that being Valentin Pantry and Lenny Martinez. The gap is now 11 seconds, and we are now onto the descent, so we will hold our breaths here on the descent off the Col d'Aspin before the Col de Tourmalet. Hopefully, no issues on this descent. We're going to see a lot of gaps open on this descent for everyone trying to remain safe in case something does happen. But actually, I'm surprised Visma Lease Bike are still huddled together in a wee group there. Like and subscribe to see Pogacar mug us all. They were showing the replay. I missed the thing. I missed the photo finish. Flip's sake. But I'm pretty sure Lenny Martinez took the 10 points. So that's Lenny Martinez now on the board for the polka dot jersey. And I don't think that's going to be the last time we will see him fighting for KOM points. I hope it's not the last time we see him. Peacock, we're speculating on Quinn getting the yellow jersey today. Yikes. It is the camera's actually on the Sean Quinn group now. 53 seconds down. Sean Quinn, Vasek, as well as... Who's up in front? Is that Ben O'Connor leading them out? Or, yeah, it is. It's Ben O'Connor, but who is that for Q36? They say Tiberi's in that group, but he is not. It is someone from Pinarello, that being Quinton Hermans. So Quinton Hermans, Sean Quinn, Vasek, and Ben O'Connor. 49 seconds down on the main peloton. The main GC, well, it's a peloton now. Like Alex Bodin, he's 3:47 down. So he's dropped. Looks like he's going to be going for the polka dot jersey now as well. Well, he's in the polka dot jersey, but I mean, he was still in a decent time? Let me check. I'm pretty sure he was still within a decent. Well, he was a bit. Oh, never mind. He was 15 minutes down. Oh no, wait, no, that means he's 7 minutes off Tadej Pogacar because Trans won it. But it just means Alex Bodin will be given more leeway in the break now. I'm not saying he's dropped on purpose, but he gets more leeway for the polka dot jersey breakaway now. 10 points is a decent haul. Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, I don't think anyone is going to be getting them 20 points over the top of the Col de Tourmalet other than either Jonas Vingegaard or Tadej Pogacar. Or it could be Isaac Del Toro. I'm hoping there's a group. I'm hoping there's a group that goes over the top. Like, I'm not saying like the main peloton. I'm talking about a decently sized, maybe 5 or 6 rider group. The Tour of Austria is on, actually, in case anyone was curious. The Tour of Austria is on, 7 kilometers to go, and Paul Double and Mühlberger are currently up the road on their own. I'm on an ad break now as well, so I don't really know what's going on. Actually, I should be able to go to multi-screen. I don't think the multi-screen has any breaks, which makes no sense that the multi-screen has no breaks, but there we go. I'm back. So we've actually got multiple cameras here. The only issue I'm watching on a smaller screen, so the 3 cameras are a bit smaller, but we've got the camera on the peloton, the camera on the Sean Quinn group, and then there is an aerial view as well. The peloton 10 seconds down on the Lenny Martinez and Valentin Pantry group. White jersey, being Vasek, they are 41 seconds down on the head of the race, so they're 31 seconds down on the peloton. And then the polka dot jersey, 4 minutes and 14. Jasper Philipsen's group, 7:46. And then the green jersey being Mads Pedersen, 11 minutes down. They're going to need to be careful there on the time limit as well. Obviously, they want to finish within the time limit. I think we might see a few riders today finish outside the time limit. One rider I would have said finishing outside the time limit would have been Decline at the Tudor, but he unfortunately abandoned, so he's out of the race completely. We've seen him struggle quite a lot on the majority of the stages so far in the Tour de France, but he's finally called it a day and abandoned, unfortunately. Hopefully he's all good if there was anything wrong. Love having you on the comms while I'm working. 10 out of 10. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Nick. But we're just on the descent off the Col d'Aspin. If you are just joining him, Lenny Martinez took the 10 points. Actually, we should be able to see who got the other points. So there we go. Lenny Martinez takes the 10 points. Valentin Payet with 8. And then the rest are taken by UAE riders. Wellens gets 6, Grosschartner 4, McNulty 2, and Adam Yates 1. So not a lot of other people fighting for those remaining points. I'm actually surprised no one from any other team did try and get some points there, even the 6, because there was that 6 points is still 6 points. But we're on the descent. I think it's going to flatten out here a bit on the descent for a couple kilometers. This descent seems to be split in two. So it flattens out halfway down it, and then we hit the final bit of the descent. I think they are back on the main coverage. Yeah, they are. No ad breaks anymore on the main coverage. So 61.8 kilometers to go. I should actually change that. I always forget to change the 60 kilometers to go. Well, not exactly 60, but in and around that. Hello, Max. Hello. But if you are just joining, just a quick recap on the stage. Start of the day, Mads Pedersen, Victor Kampenaerts and Hubarts. They were the 3 in the breakaway. They went up the road. I think Hubarts dropped off first. I think there was a bit of an issue as well with Hubarts about his hands being rested on the handlebars. I think he got a warning for it as well. But they showed like the replay of it. I think it's a tad bit harsh, but I mean, I think there's a lot of speculations on the rules for the hands being on the arms, being on the handlebars. But the first categorized climb of the day, there was a bit of an issue as the peloton split into a bunch of different groups. Tadej Pogačar, Jonas Vingegaard, and the yellow jersey, Torstein Tran, they didn't get caught out. They were in the front group, but Remco Evenepoel, he was the one that got caught out. He dropped back a bit. He was 30 seconds down, but his team brought him back. Mads Pedersen won the intermediate sprint. After that, he dropped out of the breakaway, and then it was Victor Kampenaerts on his own. He then got caught. Then Ben O'Connor attacked. Ben O'Connor, solo attack. He went away on his own and stayed on his own for about 40-ish kilometers, I'd reckon. Crowded. Oh, so you're currently there, Max. Fair enough. Enjoy. I'm sure it is going wild. I'm sure the crowd is going crazy. So very good. There, we just got a confirmation there of another person who did abandon the race. Van Lerberger of Soudal Quickstep. He has abandoned the race. So that is a bit of unfortunate news for Soudal Quickstep and Tim Merlier. That is another man. That is a man down. It's another man down in the Tour de France as a whole. But where was it? On my quick brief, I was going to say a quick brief recap, but I've been going on here. But Ben O'Connor gets caught on the Col d'Aspin as UAE take charge of the peloton with Niels Pollitt and Tim Wellens. Niels Pollitt pulls aside Tim Wellens. He's been at the front now for a good, I'd say, 10 kilometres. But Lenny Martinez, Valentin Payet attack off the front on the Col d'Aspin. Lenny Martinez takes the 10 points, and now we are currently on the descent off the Col d'Aspin. That is what it is currently looking like. There is Emmanuel Macron. He is in the back of I think he's in the back of what car is that? He's in the back of some car. It's a red car. It's a red and a green car. Don't know if he's he might be following the peloton, actually. Wonder if Paul Sexas can pull up beside his car and Get a sticky bottle. Get a sticky bottle from the president. Hello, Bobby. Hello. Yeah, Cat, you're gonna have to I'm gonna have to give you a warning for that one, Cat. Any more of that, and you're getting a yellow card. But yeah, I'm actually gonna get rid of the stage because we're about to hit the Col de Tourmalet. I will add the Col de Tourmalet on the screen so you can see that is the climb. That is what the climbers and the peloton, that is what they are about to hit. That is a crazy climb to be hitting. But the last time we were on this, 2023, and it was Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogačar battling it out. And Tadej Pogačar attacked on the final climb of the day, which isn't the same climb we're finishing on today, actually. It was a different climb, but Tadej Pogačar got the better off him there. The last time we finished at the top of the Col de Tourmalet was in 2019, where the French hero, Thibaut Pinot, he won the stage. He beat Alaphilippe, I think it was about like 6 seconds or something like that. But that was the last time we finished on the top of the Col de Tourmalet. We don't do that this year. We yet again go down it like we did in 2023 and we finish up a different climb. So it just adds that little bit more oomph to the stage. The fact that, it's obviously good to finish on a mountain, but a climb such as the Col de Tourmalet, to be so close to the finish, but yet so far as well, as there's a 19 kilometer drag up to the finish as well. After it just adds that little bit of what is going to actually happen here. And in 2023, Visma Lease bike, they had Wout van Aert up the road with a breakaway. He was pulling the breakaway along. And there was a big breakaway as well. And then that's when Jonas Vingegaard, I wouldn't even say they attacked. Visma Lease bike just wore the peloton down with their entire team. Apologies there. But Visma Lease bike, they just wore the peloton down until it was just Sepp Kuss, Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogačar. And then Jonas Vingegaard attacked, made it across to Wout van Aert. And Wout van Aert then took over. But this time, there is no breakaway. So the way I could potentially see it going is Tadej Pogačar is going to attack on the Tourmalet and go solo. Or Tadej Pogačar is going to have Isaac Del Toro, Adam Yates ride like crazy at the front. Maybe Isaac Del Toro is able to go with Tadej Pogačar. Maybe Isaac Del Toro is the one to attack first. Maybe throw Jonas off. We did see Jonas get thrown off at the end of stage 2 when Isaac Del Toro first opened up the sprint. Jonas Vingegaard followed, then Tadej Pogačar was on the wheel of Jonas Vingegaard and then set his own sprint out. So maybe we see him take the bait again. It's going to be interesting to see how this does work. But the Col de Tourmalet at the start isn't as steep as the rest of the climb. I'd say the first 5 kilometers of it, as you can see, blue and green in percentages. Green is like 3%. Blue is around 5-ish% in and around that. But after that, it is just climbing a wall. But here we go. We're close to hitting it. We've finished the descent off the Col d'Aspin, and it is the Col de Tourmalet next. And I think we have just hit it. I think the Col de Tourmalet has started. 17.1 kilometers long. 7.3% average, and the only reason that average is brought down is because of that first 5 kilometers. If it started for I would be scared to see what the average would be if them first 5 kilometers weren't involved. All right, Noah, come on, Jonas. I've seen a lot of people saying, Jonas Vingegaard is going to do well, and I've seen a lot of people predict him to actually win the stage. I think if Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogačar on that final climb, not the Col de Tourmalet, the actual final climb, I think that climb suits Tadej Pogačar more. But we will have to see. But the Col de Tourmalet has started. 54.5 kilometers to go. Vasek and Quinten Hermans are the only 2 remaining from that group of 5 that included Sean Quinn and Ben O'Connor. Sean Quinn's slightly back. Don't know if Ben O'Connor's up the road or if he's down the road. Actually, Sean Quinn is back on now. But the pace is being set at the front of the race by UAE Emirates. Red Bull picking up some food as well as Little Trek, but Tim Wellens, he's still at the front. He's not letting up the pace at all here. On his wheel is, I think it's Grosschartner. No, it's not. It can't be. That's not Grosschartner. Yeah, it is Grosschartner. Grosschartner is on his wheel. He's in second wheel. I think Adam Yates is maybe in third, or Brandon McNulty's in third wheel. Isaac Del Toro's in fourth wheel. Tadej Pogacar's at the back. They're down to 5 now. Who dropped off for UAE? They were at 6 over the Col d'Aspin, but unless I'm missing someone or I can't see someone, Egan Bernal's still towards the back. I actually seen who. Actually, someone asked me on TikTok, will Egan Bernal finish in the top 10? I would love nothing more than Egan Bernal to finish in the top 10 for today's stage. But I think they were talking more of the fact that if he was in a breakaway, I can't see him finishing in the top 10 here from the peloton. I think it'll be a bit. I think we might need to see the 2019 Egan Bernal for something like that. I can see Eunice, he's locked in. If Eunice is locked in, I'm all here for it. He's still got the pink Giro d'Italia nose band on to let everyone know that he did win the Giro d'Italia, in fact. Here we go, foot of the Tourmalet, or the Galibier, according to Phil Liggett. I just hope Jonas doesn't get dropped today. I mean, it's a hard one because I can see him getting dropped. If he does get dropped, I hope it's like 10, 20 seconds, something like that. But if he gets dropped by 2 minutes, I think I think there was a couple people on my TikTok comments saying he'll get dropped by 2 minutes. I hope that doesn't happen because stage 6 and Tadej Pogacar's leading the Tour de France by 2 minutes. I think a lot of people will lose a lot of interest in it. Obviously, for the GC, that is, interest will still remain for breakaways, sprints, etc., etc. But it's that top 2. If Paul Sexas turns into, I don't know, Eddie Merckx or something and doesn't attack and goes on to win it, I'll be all here for it. Because we know what Paul Sexas is like over a week. Potentially, maybe I think he would be pretty decent over 10 days, but it's a 2-week, 3-week mark, which we don't really know. But we know Paul Sexas is brilliant over 1 week, so hopefully he's able to bring that 1 week form, or maybe he's holding off to maybe go into the 3rd week fresh. Today will be the first test. We will have to wait and see for that one. Always got my fingers crossed for a wild Tom Pidcock descent breakaway. Someone actually did say that as well on my TikTok. They said Tom Pidcock's gonna try and attack in the descent. Yet again, I'm all here for that. I would love to see that as well. We know what Tom Pidcock is like in a descent. He is crazy in a descent. Richard Carapaz just back at the team car. Hopefully no attacks and he gets caught out, or maybe he's looking to lose a bit of time today. Would be wild over the Tourmalet. It would be very big, or very big. It would be very wild. I've guessed the stage winner correct 3 out of 5 times this year. Well, do you know what, Noah? I'm happy for you because I have currently guessed 0 of the winners correct. I was doing this time last year, in the Giro d'Italia this year. Oh, hold up. You have to trust yourself, Jonas. You are really good. You are really good. That is the message coming from Team Visma Bike, telling Jonas Vingegaard to trust himself. It is. It's starting to pick up here at the Tourmalet. 13.6 kilometers to go. So we know the first 5 kilometers, as you can see on your screen, the first 5 kilometers are the not so steep section. After that, it does pick up. But yeah, for this time in the Giro d'Italia this year, I had about after stage 6, I had about 4 or 5 guessed correctly. In the Tour de France, I have not guessed a single person correct. I've lost the touch. So I can't. My prediction's Tadej Pogacar. See, every time I predict someone to win it, they don't go on to win. So hopefully, with my Tadej Pogacar pick, he doesn't win today's stage. But I think if anyone is to break the curse, it will be Tadej Pogacar, and I will finally get my first prediction on the board. Tadej will drop Jonas on this climb, if not the last. I think Tadej Pogacar is, if Jonas is still on the wheel, I think maybe Isaac Del Toro as well, just off the back a bit. Maybe he catches up to the pair of them on the descent, onto the final climb, and then it's just Isaac Del Toro and Tadej Pogacar just wearing Jonas down. If that's the way it goes, that'll be brutal. it'll be hard to watch. Because we've seen Jonas do it to Tadej Pogacar before. Maybe Tadej Pogacar's looking to get revenge for that 2v1 situation, and we might actually get to see it here. But Tim Wellens is still at the front. He's been at the front from, I'd say, about 3 or 4 kilometers to the top of the Col d'Aspin. He's obviously had the descent at the front, but he's still at the front on the Col de Tourmalet as well. You've got Visma, Pedersen, and Coy. I went with Net Company on that stage. I also went with, here I go. I went for Godon on the Pedersen stage, and I went for Benem Girmay on the Olav Coy stage. Seems to be a few Visma riders missing. Can only see Jonas +3. Well, let me have a quick. They're zoomed in on Jonas at the moment. The gap for Vasek is going away out now. It was about 30 seconds earlier. It's 57 now, about to hit a minute. The gap for Alex Bodin in the polka dot jersey is near hitting 16 minutes. Jeez, it's near hitting 6 minutes. But Jonas Vingegaard still has 3 riders with him. Tim Wellens' job is done. He pulls to the side. Grosschartner goes to the front, and it is Grosschartner, Adam Yates, Isaac Del Toro, and Brandon McNulty remaining. But Tim Wellens' job is done. See, there was 6 still remaining, so I just missed someone. I couldn't see someone. But Felix Grosschartner, he's now at the front for UAE. He'll set the tempo at a fairly decent rate going up this climb. Brandon McNulty is next in line after him. And then Isaac Del Toro sat in 3rd wheel, Tadej Pogacar in 4th wheel, and Adam Yates is the final man for the UAE guys. Behind Adam Yates is Jonas Vingegaard, followed by 3 teammates. The 3 teammates I'm going to assume are Jorgensen, Seb Kuss, and Davide Peganzoli. You would hope it would be them 3. Behind the Visma Leasebike guys are 3 Uno X riders. Torstein Thryan, obviously the yellow jersey. I'm going to assume and hope one is Tobias Hallen Johannesson. I would hope he's still there. The final one, it could be, I don't actually know. It could be Anders Hallen Johannesson, the brother. It could potentially be him. But Red Bull, I think, are the team behind Uno X as well. Haven't actually seen much of Remco since I went live. Actually, I haven't seen him at all, matter of fact. But I'm pretty sure I see him now. I'm pretty sure that is Remco Evenepoel. But they're just showing what the virtual classification looks like now. Tryon in first, Sean Quinn second with 1 minute and 17 seconds down. Vasek in 3rd, Force 55. Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogacar keep flipping between 4th and 5th because they're tied on the same time as well. But there is a rider from Net Company. He is now struggling at the back. That is Tymon Arnsman. He's struggling at the back, so it looks like he's not going to be going for any GC, which I did expect. I thought Tymon Arnsman and Bernal would be stage hunting in this one, and it looks like that is what is going to be happening. Is that Riccatello? Matthew Riccatello drops off the back as well. He crashed in stage 3, I believe. He's bandaged up as well, but he's someone I would be saying would have been Paul Sexas's main domestique in this one, and he's dropping off. So I wonder who is still left for Paul Sexas. It'll be interesting to see who Paul Sexas still has left. Who looks better, Jonas or Tadej? They both look the same. They just both look comfortable, and I don't think they both just look as they normally do. I don't think we're going to get a good look at who's looking better until they're both sitting beside each other after an attack. But they both look in good shape. Riccatello's not the best this tour. Sexas could be in trouble. I know he's losing domestiques here at a fast rate. There's Jorgensen gone. Oh, Matteo Jorgensen has dropped here off the back, so that is not what Jonas Vingegaard will want to be seeing. 11 kilometers left on the Col de Tourmalet, and Jonas Vingegaard is down to 2 teammates, with Jorgensen dropping off the back. What? That is big question marks there for Visma Leasebike. Peacock all but rode off Jonas this morning. Seems premature. Yep, I've just, yeah. Jorgensen killed himself in the break formation. Tried too hard to get into the break. Ah, big question marks at Visma Liseberg. I think they were trying to replicate some sort of tactic from 2023 where Wout van Aert was in the break, but UAE or Ramses de Bruyne, he's now dropped off the back. We're going to see people dropping like flies here with this pace. Grosschartner is setting. Hello, breakaway. Eunice needs a good day from Sepp today. Jorgensen attacked a lot earlier. He's gonna need Seb Kuss to be on fire, and he's gonna need Davide Peganzoli to bring back some of that Giro d'Italia form. Oh, no. Torstein Tryon struggling at the back of the peloton. He is the last man in the peloton. 10.7 kilometers to the top of the Col de Tourmalet. And Torstein Tryon is the last man in the peloton, struggling to hang on. The rider that is dropped back to help him from UnoX is Anders Hallen Johannesson. So it looks like Tobias Hallen Johannesson is going to be the main man left for UnoX in that peloton, as Torstein Tryon has now dropped from the peloton. That is not what I expected either. If I was Anders Hallen Johannesson, I'd be straight and back into that peloton helping Tobias. If you're dropping 10 kilometers left on the Tourmalet, I don't think you're going to be making it back, because you've still got the rest. You've 10 kilometers off the Tourmalet, and then you've got a near enough 20 kilometer climb after that. I'd be helping Tobias Hallen Johannesson if I was his brother in this situation. I think dropping back to help the yellow jersey. I can understand why they're doing it. I mean, what do I know at the end of the day? But I'm just saying, if it was me, I would be going back to help Tobias Hallen Johannesson. There we go. Remco Evenepoel on the camera for the first time in near 40-50 kilometers. Probably more, actually. But the groups are starting to form. It is Davide Peganzoli and Seb Kuss with Jonas Vingegaard. Jonas Vingegaard being the first of the three. And then we've still got the 5 UAE guys at the front doing the work, controlling the race. And they're setting a very high tempo, which a lot of people, including Matthew Riccatello, Arnsman, Jorgensen, Ramses de Bruyne, Torstein Tryon, the yellow jersey, they can't keep up with this pace. And if you are just joining him, Matteo Jorgensen dropped from the peloton. Jonas Vingegaard is down to 2 teammates. Torstein Tryon, the yellow jersey, he's dropped from the peloton. He has Anders Hallen Johannesson helping him, so Tobias Hallen Johannesson is on his own. And then Matthew Riccatello, Paul Sexas is potentially, main domestic, main climbing domestic. He's dropped as well. Only excuse I can see there is, he crashed earlier on. There's Tish Benoit. He's dropped as well. Or is he getting bottles? I think he's collecting bottles. So Tish Benoit is still there. He was towards the back of the group on the Col d'Aspin, so it looks like he's been able to hold on. I can see him in the distance there at the back of the peloton. So Tish Benoit is still there, which is good to see. Paul Sexas does still have someone with him. Someone with a lot of experience as well. But we're into the final 10 kilometers off the Col de Tourmalet. And I think the GC is going to be looking a lot different after this one. I wonder if the gap is 27 seconds already for Torstein Tryon. I wonder if, he's 7 minutes and 53 ahead of Tadej Pogacar. If Tadej Pogacar puts in an attack, and he could take a big chunk of time here. I genuinely thought Tryon was going to hold on to that jersey going into the final couple stages of week 2. I thought we were going to be looking at another Eulalio situation. It looks like we might not be. I don't even know. I didn't expect them to drop this early. Does he hold on to it? Maxime Van Gils of Red Bull, he's dropped. So there's the camera back on Red Bull, or back on Remco. Red Bull are now the third team. The way it went was UAE, Visma Leasebike, UnoX, and then Red Bull. And now it's UAE, Visma, Red Bull, Little Trek, with the 2 Red Bull riders being Remco Evenepoel and Florian Lipowitz. Remco Evenepoel being the first of the 2. And then it is Little Trek. Don't forget, Juan Ayuso had a mechanical on the Col d'Aspin. He had to make his way back with help from Derek G and Tom Scoyne. So hopefully, like I said, that didn't take too much out of him, as Jai Hindley drops from the peloton now. So Jai Hindley's gone. Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, like I said, the 2 up at the front, they are the only 2 remaining, as Maxime Van Gils and Jai Hindley both drop. They can't keep up with the UAE pace. But fair play to a lot of the other riders. I still see an Astana rider two decathlon riders are still there. Paul Sexas and Tish Bennett. Egan Bernal's still there. He's the only rider remaining from Net Company. Tobias Hallen Johannesson is still in and amongst that as well. Skelmuza, I haven't seen Skelmuza. PCS have updated. Skelmuza is still there. I was going to say I didn't even see him up the Col de Aspen. So Ayuso, Skelmuza, Lipowitz, they're all still there. Richard Carapaz of VF Education still there. Tom Pidcock, he's struggling at the back-ish. He looks to be struggling, Tom Pidcock. I think Tom Pidcock's dropping off the back. There seems to be some gap opening up between Tom Pidcock and a couple riders towards the back. Leonard Van Etveld is still in there for Lotto Intermarché. That is good to see. That if you're a Lotto Intermarché guy, you'll be happy with that. I wonder where Joe is when you need him. Hopefully try and just pacing himself. He could easily lose 6 minutes. Yeah, I think you're right, Breakaway. I think it's 47 seconds now. He does have a teammate with him. So maybe UnoX made the right call in dropping Anders Hallen Johannesson back to limit the damage, as it still is yet to hit a minute. We're still under a minute by 10 seconds. Chris Harper's the one that remains with Pidcock. He now moves in front of Pidcock as they drop off the back. And Chris Harper is trying to bring Tom Pidcock back to the peloton, but I don't think he's going to, as we've 8.8 kilometers to go. And as you can see, I'd say from that graph, we're at the 9 kilometer mark, so we're about to hit the black percentage radius, or the black percentage gradients is what we're about to hit. And that's where it's going to get really steep. But the riders dropping off the back. Jonas Vossard's dropped off. Harold Tejada, Pablo Castrillo, Leonard Van Etveld is in limbo between the peloton and the Pidcock group, in between them. But Pidcock, Harper, Jonas Vossard, Pablo Castrillo, Harold Tejada have all dropped off the back. Leonard Van Etveld just off the back of the peloton. In the peloton though, PCS are starting to get the names up. 16 riders, Egan Bernal, Lenny Martinez, there we go. Grosschartner's pulled to the side. It is now up to Brandon McNulty. That was some effort from Grosschartner. We are now left with Brandon McNulty to do the job here. And then after that, it is Isaac Del Toro and Adam Yates and Tadej Pogacar. So it's going to be interesting to see well, obviously Adam Yates is going to be the next one to do it, but it's going to be interesting to see how they use Isaac Del Toro here. But the riders remaining in this peloton: Egan Bernal, Lenny Martinez, Nicolas Prodom. I think it's Tish Benoit, no? I seen Tish Benoit getting balls, so. But they're saying Nicolas Prodom as well as Paul Sexas, Richard Carapaz, Skelmuza. Hold up, they're going towards the back of the. Only two riders there's no teammates left for a lot of them. Paul Sexas, one teammate. Lipowitz and Remco are on their own. Skelmuza and Ayuso are on their own. Skelmuza will obviously be the one to work for Juan Ayuso in this situation. I wonder if Lipowitz is going to work for Remco. That's going to be, I think that'll be where a lot of people will turn their attention to after Pogacar and Jonas Vingegaard. So it'll be cool to see how those two do it. But Peganzoli, Sepp Kuss, Vingegaard, McNulty, Del Toro, Pogacar, Adam Yates. It says 15 riders now, so more riders keep dropping. They're saying Adam. No, they said Adam Yates is in the set. If you're watching on PS or PCS, Adam Yates, they've actually moved him up. Never mind. They were saying he was in the chasing group. But 46.5 kilometers to go. 8 kilometers until the top off the Col de Tourmalet. 1 minute and 16 seconds down is the yellow jersey, Torstein Trent. So he's over the minute mark. Will he be able to? Will he be able to hold on to that 7:53 gap? Vasek, he's 1 minute and 59, 2 minutes down now, so he'll not be long before he catches the yellow jersey. And then Alex Bodin, he's 7 minutes and 56, 7 minutes 57, near 8 minutes down at the moment. Flip, we've got 100 people in here, jeez. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe, like the video as well. I'll be live for every single stage of the Tour de France this year, so don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy, watch-alongs, stuff like that, talking about cycling. It is good fun, so much appreciated if you do subscribe. We're aiming for 1,000 here, so yeah. But anyway, back to the race. Brandon McNulty is leading out UAE. Adam Yates in second wheel. Isaac Del Toro in third wheel. Tadej Pogacar in fourth wheel. That is who remains for UAE. Visma Lease Bike, they have Sepp Kuss, Davide Peganzoli. Matteo Jorgensen did drop for Jonas Vingegaard, so a lot of question marks there. He was doing work, trying to work on the break at the start of the day. It obviously didn't work out in Visma Lease Bike's favour, as there we go. Nicolas Prodom of Decathlon has dropped out the back of the peloton. Paul Sexas is alone. This is going to be interesting now, because every time we've seen Paul Sexas do well in the peloton, in the front group, he's been having his team do the work. He's had teammates around him. He's got 7.5 kilometers until the top of the Col de Tourmalet, and he's on his own. This is going to be interesting to see what how Paul Sexas copes here. Not a single teammate around him. Maybe Decathlon could be kicking themselves and Mühlberger's not here. He actually would just a quick side brief. He won stage 2 off the Tour of Austria there. So there's 2 stage wins in a row for Mühlberger. It looks like he still might be on a bit of form. So did Decathlon make the wrong move and not bring in Mühlberger here? As Paul Sexas is on his own. Florian Lipowitz, Remco Evenepoel. Florian Lipowitz is actually in front of Remco Evenepoel now. So that's the order of those two. Juan Ayuso's in front of Skelmose. The last rider in the peloton at the moment is going to be Egan Bernal. Come on, Egan. Stay on. Stay on to the back. Stay into the peloton. Richard Carapaz is in front of him. Tobias Hallen Johannesson is third from the back. Lenny Martinez fourth from the back. So, I mean, when you look at the difference in status, Lenny Martinez has been brilliant this season. Tobias Hallen Johannesson, another one that has been brilliant this season, and they're struggling to hang on to the back when they're coming up against Tadej Pogačar. It just shows you, like Tobias Hallen Johannesson has been competing for stage wins, getting loads of podiums. Lenny Martinez has been competing. Well, obviously, Lenny Martinez met Tadej Pogačar there in the final stage of the Tour de Suisse, and he felt the full force of Tadej Pogačar as he caught him in the final kilometre. But Davide Piganzoli is now the last rider in the peloton. It's not looking good for Jonas and Visma here. Nicolas Prodom off Decathlon. The camera's back on him, but he's almost at a standstill. He's off to the side, and yeah, he's done. I must have been. I seen Tish Benoit towards the back of the peloton collecting water bottles, so that must have been his last run. He must have used all his effort to get back up, hand them out, and drop off. Yep, Piganzoli's gone. Piganzoli is the next victim off the Col de Tourmalet for Visma Lease Bike. Jonas Vingegaard has one teammate remaining, Seb Kuss. Will Seb Kuss be able to dig into his back pockets and find some form to help Tadej Pogačar, help Jonas Vingegaard on the Col de Tourmalet here? He's gonna need to, because Tadej Pogačar still has 3 guys with him. This is not looking good for Jonas. Jonas is going to need to be on some cracking form here. Brandon McNulty's still at the front. Remco Evenepoel now on the wheel of Tadej Pogačar. Is Egan Bernal okay? Well, I hope he's okay. He's the last man in this front group. I think he's struggling to hang on, but I'm hoping he hangs on. Obviously, I hope he does well in the stage, but I don't think he's going for GC. So if he's not going for GC, maybe drop off a bit, lose a bit of time, and go into the breakaway on a different mountain stage and go and win the stage. That I will be all for. But they're just running the camera up the group. Oh, Carapaz is gone. Carapaz is the next one to go. We are now down to 14. 15 drops to 14 as Richard Carapaz drops from the main group. There's Mr. Polka Dot Jersey showing he's now turned into Mr. Polka Dot Jersey here. I've just looked up at the chat, and Steve says Carapaz could pull something off, and Carapaz is the next one to drop. So unfortunately, Steve, Carapaz is not pulling anything off. Remco's shouting action incoming. 6.2 kilometers. We could maybe see some shouting action from Remco. There still is time. Breakaway Carapaz is dropping soon. Looks like you were right on that one. Piganzoli drop, yes. Del Toro looks so relaxed. The whole of UAE looks so relaxed. It's scary. The 4 guys at the front, maybe questionable on Brandon McNulty because he's he's giving it his all here, but the others just look fine. It doesn't even look like it's bothering them. Ayuso was out to make a point today. Hopefully that mechanical doesn't affect him. I think a team radio is coming through here. Who is it? UAE. Super good, Brandon. Super good. Is that it? I think that was Tadej Pogačar saying on the radio as well that he's good. Tadej Pogačar says, I'm good, guys. I'm good. So the green light from Tadej Pogačar, the green light from UAE. This could be an ugly one. This could be a very ugly one today. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong. But Sexas, Juan Ayuso, Skelmuza, Lenny Martinez, Tobias Hall Johannesson, Egan Bernal, Remco Evenepoel, Florian Lipowitz, Seb Kuss, Jonas Vingegaard, Adam Yates, Brandon McNulty, Isaac Del Toro, and Tadej Pogacar are the 14 remaining riders at the front on stage 6 of the Tour de France on the Col de Tourmalet. Here we go. We've got Jens Voigt, so I might go silent for a bit here, but he's just talking about Paul Sexas being on his own. Yeah, he's just saying Paul Sexas is on his own. He's going to have to do everything by himself now. He's got no teammates to do anything for him. And that's Jens Voigt done. He was just giving an update on Paul Sexas and his teammates. But there's Brandon McNulty. He's gone from the front. Who is at the front now? Is it Adam Yates? I'm going to assume it's Adam Yates. It would have to be Adam Yates. It is Adam Yates. Adam Yates is at the front. Isaac Del Toro, second wheel. Tadej Pogacar in third wheel. That is what the front of the peloton is currently looking like. But we are now down to 13 now in this front group. Richard Carapaz is still in the front group according to PCS, as well as Brandon McNulty, but both of those have dropped off. So they need to update that, but we are down to 13 at the front of the race. The yellow jersey, Torstein Thrain, 2 minutes and 20 seconds down. That is how far he is currently down. Anders Hall Johannesson is still a teammate with him. They say Ramses De Bruyne is still in that group. I don't even know what way it's going to end for Torstein Thrain, because there's a 20-kilometer climb after the Tourmalet. It's not as if we're finishing on the Tourmalet this year. There's another one to go. Good evening, or good afternoon, sorry, Rubber. If Bernal hangs on in there, he might consider GC. Well, he might consider it. Oh, no. No! Tobias Hall Johannesson's dropped. Tobias Hall Johannesson is the next one to drop. He's my fantasy team as well. Fuming. But Tobias Hall Johannesson, he has dropped from this group, so we are now down to 12 remaining. One by one, they are all dropping off from this UAE pace being set at the front of the race. And no one, and well, they say no one, sorry. A lot of people are struggling to hang on. Sexas and Remco having a bit of an issue there. No? Remco Evenepoel shouted Paul Sexas. Has he started yet? Tadej's going to smash the field into pieces. The way things are going, it looks like that is what is going to potentially happen here. It's just figuring out when he's going to start. Oh. Adam Yates pulls to the side. Isaac Del Toro at the front. He puts in a seated acceleration with Tadej Pogacar in his wheel. The rider to follow, Jonas Vingegaard. He's on the wheel of Tadej Pogacar. Another rider to follow, Paul Sexas, struggling to get onto the wheel of Jonas Vingegaard. Jonas Vingegaard. As Tadej Pogacar drops Jonas Vingegaard, he has been dropped. Tadej Pogacar and Isaac Del Toro are going solo as a duo, with a gap opening up from Tadej Pogacar to Jonas Vingegaard. Paul Sexas, Remco Evenepoel struggling to get under the wheel of Paul Sexas, but we've got a bunch of groups opening up here. 43.1 kilometres to go, 4.7 kilometres to go to the top of the Tourmalet as Tadej Pogacar goes to the front of the race. Isaac Del Toro on his wheel, and it looks like this is going to be the killer blue. Remco Evenepoel, he seems to have slowed up here. Who's on his wheel? I think Juan Ayuso's on the wheel of Remco Evenepoel. Jonas Vingegaard is now gapped. Paul Sexas, Florian Lipowitz is the rider on the wheel of Paul Sexas. So there's questions answered between Remco and Lipowitz. We're finally getting the answer to that one. But Jonas Vingegaard has gapped Paul Sexas and Lipowitz. Lipowitz is bringing it back though to Jonas Vingegaard. Isaac Del Toro looks over his left shoulder to see where Jonas Vingegaard is. He can see him. Tadej Pogacar does the same, but they are not letting up. This pace being set by UAE. But the pace being set by this duo, no one can compete with. 4.4 kilometres to go to the top of it. 6 second gap already. And I mean, Tadej Pogacar's at the front. This is crazy. Like, Jonas Vingegaard, He's just about to get caught here by Florian Lipowitz. A lot of people saying Florian Lipowitz is washed. I did see a few of those comments, and he's not going to do well in this. And there's Del Toro gone. Del Toro has dropped. It is Tadej Pogacar's solo now. Tadej Pogacar on his own, 4.2 kilometers until the top of the Tourmalet, and he has got nobody with him. 42.5 kilometers until the end of the stage, and he has got nobody with him. Jonas Vingegaard catches Isaac Del Toro. He's dropping Florian Lipowitz slightly. Florian Lipowitz is still holding his own here, which is good to see. He's holding a decent distance between himself, but Isaac Del Toro now on the wheel of Jonas Vingegaard. Is this maybe a bit of tactics? No. It's a bit of a weird tactic, but if Isaac Del Toro drops on the back of Jonas Vingegaard and then decides to attack him, maybe bruise the ego a bit. we will see how that plays out between Jonas Vingegaard and Isaac Del Toro, but I see Jonas Vingegaard in the back, out of the saddle, actually. Well, the camera's panning around the corner, so I don't see them anymore. As for everyone else, I have not a clue. The gap is 11 seconds for Jonas Vingegaard. I have no clue where Remco is. I think Juan Ayuso was on the wheel of Remco. There's Paul Sexas. Paul Sexas is still going for it. So we're getting week one Sexas here. I would have expected him to do this in week one. And it's good to see he is doing it week one. He's still bandaged up on both arms. But Lipowitz is up the road. Has Lipowitz dropped a lot, actually? They're showing the time gaps now. Jonas Vingegaard 9 seconds down. Paul Sexas 17 seconds down. Remco Evenepoel 30 seconds down now. It looks like... here, don't forget as well, a lot of the riders nowadays pace themselves. Oh dear. Jonas Vingegaard's way up the road. Isaac Del Toro now in third. He's got a big gap from himself to Jonas Vingegaard. Lipowitz is about to pass him. Maybe Isaac Del Toro's going to hold the wheel of Lipowitz for as long as he can. But Isaac Del Toro did his job. Perfect seated attack by Isaac Del Toro. But Jonas Vingegaard has Tadej Pogacar in his sights. The gap is 7 seconds. It is dropping. It's back up to 8. Forget that. But look at the crowds here. 3.4 kilometers to go in the Col de Tourmalet, and the crowds are about 2 to 3 people deep. This is crazy, and Tadej Pogacar is on his own. He is going solo. He's got no one up the road in front of him. Actually, he's got a motorbike in front of him, but he's got one person behind him. 7 seconds down, 6 seconds now, and that is Jonas Vingegaard. Will he be able to close this gap? 3.3 kilometers to go. All eyes on Jonas Vingegaard. There's Jonas now. The camera is on Jonas. Will he be able to... He has to dig deep on this one. He's going to need to pull every trick out of the bag here to try and bring this back. It's jumped from 6 to 8 seconds now. Camera's on Paul Sexas. The crowd are going crazy for him, and rightly so. 19-year-old Frenchman at the Tour de France sat in third position. No, he's in Group 3, sorry, but... Florian Lipowitz is in between them. We've actually got cameras here now on the other group. Remco Evenepoel, Juan Ayuso, Scalamuza, and Lenny Martinez. They are the four. They're in Group 4. They haven't got the time up for Florian Lipowitz. So it says Jonas Vingegaard's in Group 2. Paul Sexas is in Group... Actually, they've updated it now. They just don't have a time for Group 3. The gap is 9 seconds. So the gap is growing very slowly, though. It did go down to 6. It's now up to 9. But this is, will Jonas catch him on the descent? 2.9 kilometers to go. Tadej Pogacar is in, the form of his life. When isn't he in the form of his life? He is just going crazy here. Jonas Vingegaard, 7 seconds, 8 seconds is the gap, 9 seconds now. Is it going to go up? Yeah, it's up to 10. We're in the double digits now for the time difference between the two of them. Still don't have a time for Florian Lipowitz, but we have a time for Paul Sexas, as Paul Sexas has Isaac Del Toro and Florian Lipowitz in his sights. He is 37 seconds down, so I'm going to assume that they are maybe 32 seconds down. I think there's about a 5-second gap between them. But it looks like Paul Sexas might be catching Isaac Del Toro and Florian Lipowitz. And if the camera pans back and them three are in a group, I think that might be the... I think they might be fighting for the GC in a couple of years to come, so it might be a wee glimpse into the future on this one. But it is still Tadej Pogacar. He's still in fine form. He's out on his own. He's got the yellow jersey in his sights. I still don't know what the time gap is for the yellow jersey. It completely disappeared last time we seen it. Was about 2 minutes 20, 2 minutes 30. Jonas Vingegaard, though, he is holding the 9 to 8 second gap. He is not letting it go. He's still holding on. He just can't get it down to 5, 4, 3, 2, and he can't get down. He can't hold on to the wheel if he was to get there. Where is Egan Bernal? Good question, Michael. I have not a clue. I have no clue where he is. There's the flares being set off. Paul Sexas still can see. I'd say there's about a 3-second gap between himself and Lipowitz and Del Toro. There are 2 motorbikes in front of them, so maybe they get a bit of a moto pace in there, but they're now in front of Lipowitz. Paul Sexas out of the saddle. He's trying his best to get the wheel off Isaac Del Toro. Will he be able to get it? I think he will. But this is all over the show. And it is going the way a lot of people expected, with Tadej Pogačar out the front on his own. The gap is 13. The gap has went from 7, 8, 9 to 11 or 12 and 13. 12 and 13. Don't forget, if you are new, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be live for every single stage of this year's Tour de France. So if you enjoy watching along, if you enjoy talking about cycling, don't forget to subscribe. Join the community. I'll be live until the 26th of July, and then I'm going to be live for every single other UCI race as well this season. But 15, 16 seconds is the gap now. Jonas drowns himself in water as the gap is now 17. The gap is growing. 2 kilometers. He hits a 2 kilometer banner before the top of the Col de Tourmalet. Paul Sexas catches Lipowitz and Isaac Del Toro. He's now at the front of those two. He's setting the pace for Lipowitz and Isaac Del Toro. This is a brilliant ride from Paul Sexas. Very, very, very good. 19 seconds is the gap. Where's Big Money Remco? Big Money Remco is currently in a group with Juan Ayuso, Scalmuza and Lenny Martinez. They are 1 minute and 13 seconds down. Paul Sexas, Lipowitz and Isaac Del Toro are 59 seconds down, so about a 16-second gap between Remco Evenepoel and Paul Sexas. They hit the 2 kilometer banner now, that being Sexas, Del Toro and Lipowitz. But Jonas Vingegaard now 20 seconds. Oh no. 20-second, 21. It's going to get worse, isn't it? It is only going to get worse. I wonder if Tadej Pogačar puts in another attack here in the final kilometre or something off the Col de Tourmalet. There's Juan Ayuso, Scalmuza, Martinez and Remco. They hit the 2 kilometre banner for the Col de Tourmalet. But the Col de Tourmalet, yet again, provided more historical battles between the two giants of Tadej Pogačar and Tadej Pogačar and Jonas Vingegaard. But this time, Isaac Del Toro was involved. And Paul Sexas is also throwing a few punches as well. He just can't reach the likes of Vingegaard and Tadej Pogačar yet. But he's getting involved nonetheless, which is brilliant to see. 1.4 kilometers to go for Tadej Pogačar until the top of the climb. And there is 27 seconds. 27 seconds is the gap for Jonas Vingegaard to Tadej Pogačar. 1.3 kilometers to go. 26 seconds. It's back up to 27. I was going to say there's a bit of hope he's dropped it a second, but it went straight back up. Paul Sexas and co are now a minute plus. Minute and 6 seconds. Remco Evenepoel, he's a minute and 23. Tadej Pogačar is able to pick up a water bottle. He shakes the gel off it, puts the water bottle in his cage, and he just continues on like nothing is happening. This is, I wonder if he's even breaking it well. I mean, the only reason Tadej Pogačar is sweating on this climb is because of the heat. If it wasn't warm, it'd be, the Sunday ride Tadej Pogačar would usually do. But there is Seb Kuss. He's now making his way onto the back of the Lenny Martinez, Juan Ayuso, Scalmuza and Remco group. Seb Kuss, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they're going to catch Vingegaard, but still good for Visma Lease bike nonetheless. Maybe Seb Kuss can find that Vuelta form and attack this group, go past Sexas and catch Jonas Vingegaard and bring him back. But the camera's on Tadej Pogačar. Not long until the top now, until the Col de Tourmalet is conquered by Tadej Pogačar, as he's almost 800 metres until the top. Remco hit... Why do I keep calling Jonas Remco? Jonas Vingegaard hits the 1 kilometre banner for the Col de Tourmalet. The crowd is going absolutely crazy at the top of this one. Slovenian flags out, the French flags are out, and the gap is 30 seconds for Jonas Vingegaard. This is crazy. Paul Sexas, he's a minute and 16 down alongside Lipowitz and Isaac Del Toro. The time. Torstein trying the yellow jersey. It has just been put up. 5 minutes and 32 seconds is the gap, so he's going to lose the yellow jersey because I think Tadej Pogačar, he's not stopping from here. It was 2 minutes and 20, 2 minutes and 30 the last time I seen it. They've now just put it back up. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. He only has a set. Well, I say he only has a 750 gap on Tadej Pogačar, and that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to hold him off. And it looks the way things are going here. 32 seconds is the gap from Tadej Pogacar to Jonas Vingegaard. 500 meters until the top of the climb. Look at this is cycling here. The crowd is up. Oh, lovely! What an image. There's Borat is on the climb, running with a G string up the climb. I really wanted to see that, so that's buried into the vision there. Lovely, but 340 meters until the top. To be fair, Jonas Vingegaard is holding the 30-second gap. I mean, it's dropping 29, up to 30, up to 31, back to 29. So he's holding it in and around there, but it is a big significance from the 7, 8, 9 seconds he was holding earlier. Paul Sexas, Isaac Del Toro and Lipowitz, their gap is slowly increasing. It was about 1:06. It's now 1:20. Remco Evenepoel's group, it was about 1:20, 1:22. It is now 1:40. Will Remco, Juan Ayuso and Skelmuza be able to catch Paul Sexas? I think the battle for third is, I mean, imagine Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogacar were not in this Tour de France. Imagine that battle for third. Isaac Del Toro, Sexas and Lipowitz on the front on their own, but obviously that's not the case. We have got Tadej Pogacar still here in his prime, doing what he does best, conquering the mountains in the Tour de France with Jonas Vingegaard behind him. And he's arriving at the top of the Tourmalet with the crowd almost engulfing the entire mountain itself, as Tadej Pogacar takes all 20 points off the Col de Tourmalet. He moves into the leader's jersey off the KOM. But here we go. 29 seconds is the gap for Jonas Vingegaard. He is going to take 15 points here. 28 seconds. I tell you what, the crowd really does make it. The crowd really does make this race. This is absolutely brilliant. As Jonas Vingegaard now crosses the top of the Col de Tourmalet. So that gives you a chance, or gives you an insight of what the gap is currently looking like. 30 seconds is the gap, and the camera cuts back to the Remco group. So we've got Remco Evenepoel, Juan Ayuso, Matthias Skelmuza, Lenny Martinez, and Seb Kuss, all as a group of 5, 1:48 down, but they are 22 seconds down on the Paul Sexas group. The motorbike camera is on the Isaac Del Toro, Florian Lipowitz, and Paul Sexas group, but there's a Visma Lease bike car just behind them. You can hear the motorbike beeping the horn to try and get past the car, but the car won't move to the side. It is the motorbike was beeping for the car to get out of the way. That was actually quite funny. But Paul Sexas, Isaac Del Toro and Florian Lipowitz cross the top of the Col de Tourmalet. They have conquered it as well. As here we go, attack from Florian Lipowitz. Florian Lipowitz attacks straight over the top of the Col de Tourmalet with Remco Evenepoel, the only one. I think Isaac Del Toro showed signs of a reaction, but I don't think he has enough in the legs to bring it back. Remco, Lenny Martinez, Skelmuza, Ayuso and Seb Kuss all cross the top of the climb as well, with Lenny Martinez getting the most points he can out of that, sprinting for them points, but they are now under the descent. So it is all eyes on the descent off the Col de Tourmalet. The gap is still 29 seconds between Tadej Pogacar and Jonas Vingegaard, but they have still got one more climb to go. All of that has happened, and there's still 36.5 kilometers to go. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, don't forget to do that. If you're in here, I'm probably like a broken radio at this point, but I'm going to be live for every single stage off the Tour de France. So if you enjoy the watch-alongs, if you enjoy talking about cycling, I'm going to get to the chat in a minute because I have not looked over at the chat at all. I just seen the don't forget to like and subscribe part. But if you do enjoy this type of content, I do put previews up and stuff as well, and you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. But here's a radio. Come on, Jonas, you have to keep fighting. Come on. That is the words relayed to Jonas Vingegaard from the Visma Lease bike car. It's now up to 32 seconds, down to 31. But where was I in the chat? I've missed a lot in the chat. Massacre in the mountain. I agree, Kat. Jonas trying to catch him before the top of the mountain. I've read that. I've seen that. This is incredible, Shelley. This is very, very good. And there's no way they cut to an ad break. Are you kidding me? They cut to an ad break? No, hold up. Multi-screen. Get to the multi-screen. They've no ads on the multi-screen. I think the multi-screen is actually probably better at this point now. Yeah, here we go. Pardon me. So I've got the multi-screen up now. We've got the camera on Tadej Pogačar, Jonas Vingegaard, Paul Sexas, and an aerial view of the Paul Sexas group. Lipowitz's attack went absolutely nowhere as Paul Sexas closed it down with Isaac Del Toro. There's the French army out on the descent. Right. This descent is looking fantastic. Yeah, it's just guys in their own element going down this on the bike. They need to get a camera on Pidcock for this descent. That is something I would love to see. Lipowitz wanting to put more time into Remco. Good shout, Lynn. I think he secretly wanting to maximise the damage on Remco Evenepoel here so he doesn't have to work for him. There's Jonas Vingegaard is only hitting that French army there now. 33 seconds is the gap apparently. The yellow jersey time gap is 7 minutes and 3 seconds. Aye. 50 seconds until the yellow jersey is now in the hands of actually 40 seconds. Because if Tadej Pogačar wins, he gets a 10-second bonus. So 40 seconds until the yellow jersey is back on the shoulders of Tadej Pogačar virtually. Turn the tour the exact moment they cross the top of the terminal line. Anytime you hear you have to keep fighting, Jonas, you know. Appreciate the kind words, Kat. Thank you. Who's leading now and how are the gaps? So leading at the front, just like whilst they're on the descent, Tadej Pogačar is out the front on his own with a 32-second gap on a solo man chasing him down, being Jonas Vingegaard. Behind Jonas Vingegaard, actually they're doing 97 kilometers an hour in this descent. Jonas Vingegaard is. That is crazy. But behind Jonas Vingegaard is a group of 3. Paul Sexas, Isaac Del Toro, and Florian Lipowitz. They are currently 1 minute and 34 seconds down on Tadej Pogačar and 1 minute behind Jonas Vingegaard. Behind the Paul Sexas group is Remco Evenepoel, Juan Ayuso, Skelmoza, Lenny Martinez, and Seb Kuss. And they are 1 minute and 50 down. 16 seconds down on Sexas. And they are currently 1 minute and 16 seconds down on Jonas Vingegaard. So that is what the race is currently looking like. And I mean, lost for words. Isaac Del Toro was the one to make the first move with Tadej Pogačar in his wheel. He put the seated attack down. Tadej Pogačar in the wheel. Jonas Vingegaard tried to hold the wheel. He must have held that wheel for about 10 seconds. I think that's how long he held the wheel for. Paul Sexas tried to make it across. He couldn't. Lipowitz tried to make it across. He couldn't. Isaac Del Toro then dropped off to the wheel of Jonas Vingegaard. Then he dropped off to the wheel of Lipowitz, and that is where Isaac Del Toro currently stands. Appreciate it, Ian. Who's the best descender out of the 4? Probably Tadej Pogačar, because he's increasing the gap on every single person here. Tadej Pogačar is just not giving up on this descent. Yeah, I think Tadej Pogačar is looking the best on this descent. 41 seconds is the gap, so he's stuck about 10-11 seconds in the Jonas Vingegaard already on this descent. I think my PCS is frozen. Oh, we're back up now. PCS is back up, so we've got the time gaps now. For my PCS, it was still the groups hadn't even formed yet. Tadej putting time into Jonas on the downhill. He's looking really, really good on the downhill. 41 seconds. You are right, Poker. 41 seconds. 43 seconds I've got. But we've now got each camera, Tadej Pogačar, Jonas Vingegaard, Paul Sexas, and Remco Evenepoel. There is a camera on every single group. Let's hope for a few attacks out of this Sexas and Remco group. I can potentially see an attack from Juan Ayuso from this Remco group. I can see an attack definitely happening there. Well, I hope. That's what I'm hoping for. I think Lenny Martinez is, well, I say Lenny Martinez is here because he's looking for the polka dot points, but I mean, he's still here because he's been on fire this season, and it's obviously continuing on into the Tour de France. I think he will eventually start to look to lose time, so he can go for that polka dot jersey, but he's just picking up the points whilst he can and when they are available, as there will be more polka dot jersey points to pick up in the next week and the final week. What's the last climb like? Good question, and I should have actually had a poll up. I'll get a poll up. Get a poll up. It's not going to be who finishes first. That's not how you spell it. But I will get the final climb up in 2 seconds. I'm just getting a wee poll up here to see what is everyone else's opinion on this one. But like I said, I will get this final climb up in 2 seconds. That's not how you spell that. There we go. There's the poll. Who finishes in third? Paul Sexas, Isaac Del Toro, or Florian Lipowitz? Did that go through? Yes, it did. And as for the final climb, this is what the final climb is looking like for today. The Gavinier Gedre is how I think it is pronounced. That is what I'm going to go with. It is a Category 2 climb, 18.7 kilometers long. It has a maximum of 3.7%. But as you can see, there are sections in the climb towards the middle-ish, end-ish part with about 6%. And there's a bit at the start, 6%. But that is what the final climb is looking like. Not a steep climb. Not one that suits the likes of Jonas Vingegaard. It suits Tadej Pogacar a lot more. A big, long drag. And it's just whoever can keep up with the pace. Tadej Pogacar's looking brilliant on this descent. The gap is now 50 seconds. We've got the time gaps for the yellow jersey. He's now 7:56 down. So the yellow jersey virtually is back on the shoulders of Tadej Pogacar. And if Tadej Pogacar wins this stage, that means he's got 23 stage wins and he is 12 behind Mark Cavendish. That is a record I do not want to be broken. Why can no one beat Tadej Pogacar? Why is he so good? why is he too good? But the gap for the polka dot jersey, 17 minutes for Alex Boudin, and then for poor Mads Pedersen, he is currently 24 minutes down. Like I said earlier, he's going to need to be careful on the finishing inside the time limit as well as everyone else. It'll be interesting to see who makes it, and hopefully everyone does make it, but it'll be interesting to see who potentially might not make it. If you didn't know, decline of sorry, I thought that said Van Etfeldt. Decline of Tudor, he abandoned today. So did Van Leerberger of Soudal Quickstep. They both abandoned during today's stage. The rider that didn't start today's stage was Alex Molinar of Caja Real. He crashed yesterday before the sprint, hit his head, broke his hand, and Kian Utebrooks has abandoned the race. What? Kian Utebrooks of Movistar, their main GC guy going into this, he has abandoned the race. That is not good for himself and Movistar. We've seen reports come out that he had a virus a couple stages ago. Looks like that has continued, and he's abandoned. Yikes! It was meant to be his first big proper Grand Tour with the team around him. He gets his first shot, after leaving Team Visma Lease bike, and it looks like that shot's gonna have to wait. Looks like that is going to have to wait as Kian Utebrooks has abandoned the Tour de France. Let me see what the poll is currently looking like for this. So 50% of the poll think Isaac Del Toro is going to finish in third. 25% believe Sexas gets third. 15% go for Lipowitz, and 10% are going for other. So there's 3 people that have abandoned today. We're still on the descent here. The descent will take a little while longer. Movistar doesn't have a GC rider. They needed to sign Ayuso Del Toro or fork over 13 million for Sexas. Well, I think they were hoping to get it with Kian Utebrooks. I think they were hoping to build something with Kian Utebrooks. He finished in a top 10 in a Grand Tour before, but it looks like it is their project's going to have to be put on hold for another wee while for poor old Kian Utebrooks. Is Lipowitz too young for the jersey? He's 25 now, so he misses out on the white jersey this season. So he won it whilst he could when he was 24, but he's just going to have to hold out a bit longer. He's going to have to, he's going to have to wait. It's over now. He can't get the white jersey, so he's going to have to wait until he can potentially win the yellow jersey at some point in his career. But they're showing the mountain points, the mountain jersey. Lenny Martinez is in second, so Tadej Pogacar in first with 23 points, Lenny Martinez 16 points, Jonas 16 points, then Alex Boudin, the current polka dot jersey, in 13 points in third. I'll just change the screen table from the GC to the favourites so you can have a look at what the favourites for today's stage did look like. Tadej Pogacar was the main favourite by a country mile. Isaac Del Toro was more of a favourite than Jonas Vingegaard. He was 12-1. Jonas Vingegaard was 14-1. Valentin Paripantry 20-1, in case of a breakaway. I think that includes as well Lenny Martinez and Alex Boudin and Tymon Arensman. Remco was 40-1 to win today's stage. Carapaz 28-1. Paul Sexas 25-1. No Lipowitz though. Obviously he's still yet to win. He's still yet to win his first proper major race. His first World Tour stage, or first World Tour race as well. And it looks like he's going to have to wait a lot longer as well for that one. Crash. Torstein Tryon has crashed in the yellow jersey. That is not what you want to see. He's virtually out of the yellow jersey, but he's definitely out of it now. He's hit the deck. 4 people around him. He's not moving. He's sat up though, but he's not moved yet. They're in the middle of the road though, so that is a bit of a tricky one for people trying to get round. But he's not looking too good on this one. Hopefully he gets back up and rides the bike and finishes in the yellow jersey. It just went. It was, the career his career trajectory. He had the cancer, then he went into the Vuelta. He got the red jersey for a few days. Then he gets the yellow jersey, and then he crashes in the yellow jersey. Hopefully he continues on. He's limping though. I'm actually very surprised we haven't seen a single cyclist pass. The camera is on the inside of the road, they're now on the outside, and I don't think I've seen a single cyclist pass. Or I don't know what the time gaps are behind the yellow jersey. But the time gap for the yellow jersey has disappeared, as I'm sure it's a way over 10 minutes now. But Tadej Pogacar is still up there. Jonas Vingegaard, 1 minute and 10 seconds is what it is currently sitting at. 1 minute and 9 seconds. And I think on this final climb, which I think they're very close to hitting, I think they're about to hit it right now. And I think it is going to only get bigger from here for Tadej Pogacar's time gap on Jonas Vingegaard. The time gap for Sexas, Evenepoel have caught Sexas, so they are a big group of 8 now. Will Jonas be brought back into this group? Ooh, big question there. Will Jonas Vingegaard finish in second? And will Torstein Tryon continue in this race, or will he unfortunately abandon the race? But the camera on Evenepoel, they're coming in, they're a bit far away from the camera. Like, obviously the motorbike has to give them a bit of a distance on, but we've got the camera behind. Seb Kuss is at the back of this group. Isaac Del Toro second last. Paul Sexas third from last. But the other riders included in this group: Lenny Martinez, Skelmoza, Juan Ayuso, Florian Lipowitz, Remco Evenepoel. They are the other riders that make up this group of 8. There's actually a small gap now from Sexas, Del Toro and Seb Kuss to the others. Hopefully they are all switched on and they close that down fairly quickly. Torstein will remember those few days for the rest of his life. Pretty impressive. He got the yellow for a few days. Agreed. He will definitely not forget it now. he'll be able to look back on this and go, remember the time I was in the yellow jersey and then crashed the next day, or the next 2 days. I think he's getting back on the bike. I think he might be getting back on the bike here. But the gap between Tadej Pogačar and Jonas Vingegaard is 1 minute and 10 seconds. Remco Evenepoel is the rider at the front of this third group, doing the work to try and bring back Jonas Vingegaard. The gap between the Jonas Vingegaard and this group is 32 seconds. Is Remco doing the work for Lipowitz, or is Remco doing the work for himself? Paul Sexas in second wheel, Isaac Del Toro in third wheel. Remco Evenepoel looks to be putting in an attack here on his own, is he? No? I thought he was putting in an attack. He's not. Group 3 is looking strong. I mean, the names in that Group 3 are crazy. Like Evenepoel, Lipowitz, Del Toro, Ayuso, Skelmuza, Sexas, Sepp Kuss, Lenny Martinez. All brilliant riders. And they're in the third group chasing down Jonas Vingegaard, who is currently... He's actually up to... It's about 35, 36 seconds now. But Tadej Pogačar, I mean... He's a man on a mission, and he's a man by himself at the front of the race on stage 6 of the Tour de France with a minute and 11 second gap on Jonas Vingegaard. That's what the front of the race is currently looking like. 17.1 kilometers to go for Tadej Pogačar, and he's only going to deal more damage here. But Torstein Tran back on the bike, brilliant to see. Anders Helen Johannesson did wait for him, which is very good to see as well. Obviously, he's going to have to wait for him. But Torstein Tran shaking the head. I think he did hurt his... From first glance, it looked like he hurt his right hip. The way he was hobbling and holding his right hip as well. But he's back on the bike, but he's about 12 minutes and 15 seconds down now, so... A lot of people were saying, could he be fighting for a top 10 position? I think him starting tomorrow is a big question mark. But Isaac Del Toro, I thought he dropped. He was just getting a wee bit of a sticky bottle there from the UAE car. So he was. But if you are just joining, Paul Sexas, I wish it was Paul Sexas, Tadej Pogačar up the front on his own with a minute and 13 second gap on Jonas Vingegaard, who has a 35 second gap on the group of 8 riders containing Isaac Del Toro, Sepp Kuss, Remco Evenepoel, Florian Lipowitz, Juan Ayuso, Matthias Skelmuza, Paul Sexas, and Lenny Martinez. If I was Jonas Vingegaard, actually no, the time's going up for that group. I was going to say if the time is fairly decent between the two of them, I'd be slowing up a wee bit. You know, Sepp Kuss in the group behind, send him to the front, do a bit of work, and then do another attack potentially, try and minimize the damage. But I don't know if that one would work. Tadej is incredible. He is he's out of this world. So he is. He's very, very, very good. It's like scary good. Like the attack on that Col de Tourmalet. Oh, attack out the front. Remco attacks out the front. Juan Ayuso is the one to follow. Everyone else trying to react. Isaac Del Toro, though, the weakest link out of the bunch, as he's the last and he's actually getting dropped by everyone else. But Remco Evenepoel puts in the attack. Juan Ayuso in the wheel. Paul Sexas in third wheel. Skelmuza trying to bridge across. Florian Lipowitz, Sepp Kuss getting caught out as well as Lenny Martinez. But it looks like Isaac Del Toro is done for the day. Even myself included, I thought podium for Isaac Del Toro, but he could lose a decent amount of time here if he can't get back onto the back of this group. I think he's going to make it back on, though. I think he's going to be all good. Cat cheering on Remco. Not be long before he starts shouting. He looks over I wonder if he flicks off the side, looks for Juan Ayuso to go there. Remco's not happy. Oh, brilliant. He flicked off to the right-hand side, flicked the elbow for Juan Ayuso to go through, and Juan Ayuso glued to his wheel. And Remco turns around and says something to him. Juan Ayuso goes to the front now. Remco glued to his wheel. Sexas is there as well, but Remco Evenepoel has started. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before it started. A lot of people hate it. I love to see it. I love to see it. But Juan Ayuso is leading them here on this final climb in this group there. I would update you on Tadej Pogačar, but I'm sure you know what is going on. The gap is a minute and 25 at the moment. The gap between Vingegaard and Group 3, though, is another one to keep a close eye on. It is currently sat about 30, 31 seconds is what the gap is currently looking like. If you're going to attack the group, we're not going to work with you, Remco. Exactly, Rubber. Exactly. He attacks the group, everyone catches him, and then he expects someone to go through and do a turn. You've just attacked. If no one went with you, you would have been doing your own turn and you would have been happy as Larry. Because you got caught, though, you're annoyed at everyone else because they don't want to go through. But Paul Sexas, he now takes his turn at the front. Wana Yusu and Scalmuza are the two behind him. Remco sat in about fourth wheel, unless actually Scalmuza is behind Remco. So Remco sat in fourth wheel. He's moving back up to the front to take his turn. Lipowitz in the wheel of Remco. Isaac Del Toro, though, he's on the back of this group. He made it back. So did Lenny Martinez and Seb Kuss. So the band's back together. Remco's attack didn't affect anyone, and they've reunited. You just what's going through Tadej Pogacar's head? He's where am I going to attack from tomorrow on the flat stage? That's what he's probably thinking. Vingegaard out of the saddle. He's out of the saddle, trying to put attacks in, trying to bring this gap down, but it isn't going anywhere. 1:26 is what the gap is currently sat at. Jonas is still losing time to Tadej. Exactly. Tadej's ruthless, which is nice to see. It would be nice to see Jonas do the same, but I think he can only drop every other rider in the world except for one. Yep. I've seen a lot of people say he's the rider born in the wrong generation, but even so, he's won 2 Tour de France. He's won the Vuelta. He's won the Giro. He's won everything you can possibly win for a rider of his caliber, but he would have won a lot more if it wasn't for Tadej Pogacar. Where's my nose itchy? All the haters are going to hate Tadej when he retires. Exactly. I mean, I love him as a rider. I just don't like the fact that he wins all the time. But when he does disappear, everyone will be going like, "Oh, remember the time Tadej Pogacar was there," reminiscing the nostalgia of Tadej Pogacar. So I'm just enjoying it whilst it's here, even though a lot of people say it's boring, and I can understand why people do say it's boring, and sometimes I do think it can be a bit boring myself. But you just have to take it all in. You're witnessing one of the greatest cyclists of all time, and it's scary what he's doing. Like, Tadej's regretting the race win as he has to do the post-race protocol. He has to answer more questions. Back to the Evenepoel group, though. Sexas is at the front. Remco's in second place. Scalmuza in third. No signs of an attack from anyone else, which is unfortunate. Pardon me. Hopefully it does pick up in the final 5-10 kilometers. There's 12.8 kilometers to go now. So there is Torstein Tran, cameras on him as well. He's back on the bike. He's back pedaling. If you are just joining, the yellow jersey did crash. He's lost a boatload more time as he's now 13 and a half minutes down. But before he did crash, he was already out of the yellow jersey virtually. But yeah, it's himself and Anders Hallen Johannesson. I would love to know where Tobias Hallen Johannesson and Egan Bernal went. The big question that was asked in one of the Giro d'Italia stages was, where is Egan Bernal? And I'm asking that question again myself. Wout van Aert and a healthy Primoz Roglic. Steven Kruijswijk made the difference in 2022. And the reason they broke Pogacar, they all attacked him and it worked. Well, the roles reversed this time. Tadej Pogacar and Isaac Del Toro attacked Jonas Vingegaard, and he didn't have anything to answer this time round. It's far from boring. We're witnessing something we are unlikely to see again in our lifetimes. Yeah, true. Very true. How could Visma have done any better on this stage? The only thing you could say that they could have done differently is not have Jorgensen do all that work at the start, because he was the first teammate to drop on the Col de Tourmalet, and I was like, oh dear. But even with Jorgensen, I still think we would be looking at the same scenario that we currently have in front of us. Paul riding really strong at 19. Yeah, I guess I expected it from him in week one because we've seen him in week one races and he's been unreal in the week one races. It's when we go into week 2 and we go into week 3, we really get to see what Paul Sexas is like. And I hope he's still the same in week 1 as he is in week 3. So I do. But Wanna-Yusu's, it's actually Remco at the front of this group now. He's at the front. Jonas is 1:30 down now. Yikes. Sexas is 1:56, so the gap is actually coming down on the Vingegaard and between Jonas Vingegaard and Paul Sexas, Evenepoel, etc., etc. They're 1:56 down. Jonas is 1:31. 25-second gap. Could they close it? I mean, I think they could close it if Remco goes to the front and just pulls like mad for Lipowitz. But I mean, he's at the front now. Everyone seems to be working together reasonably well because of Remco's shouting. But Sexas is doing his job. Scalmoza and Wanna-Yusu are doing their turns. The only 3 that aren't working at the front are Lipowitz, Isaac Del Toro, and Seb Kuss. So maybe Remco has passed the torch to Lipowitz for the GC already, as he's the one working at the front. Maybe not. But Scalmoza now moves to the front. See if Vingegaard gets caught here. That will be... you'll never hear the end of it. If Vingegaard gets caught, you'll not hear the end of it on social media. So hopefully he stays out on his own. But it'll be crazy, like if he does get caught here. You could have given Jonas the entire UAE team and Pogacar would still dominate. I'm going to agree with you on that one. Maybe a bit, actually, if you give him Isaac Del Toro, maybe Jonas would have been able to stay with Taddy over the Col de Tourmalet, potentially. I mean, obviously, we're talking in ifs, but Isaac Del Toro was looking very strong on that first original attack, so maybe it could have been a slight tad bit different going over the top of the Tourmalet, but we will never know the answer to that question. Bernal seemingly with Yates and Carapaz, if that's where he is. Hopefully he loses a bit more time as well as Carapaz so that they can then go into the break. He's doing what Merckx did and just destroying everyone. He is. he is. Well, there you go, Shelley, with the weather update. It's raining in certain parts. Torstein Thrine, it's currently raining on Torstein Thrine. It's not raining on Tadej Pogacar, who's out the front. It's not raining on the Remco Evenepoel group. It's not raining on Jonas. Is it raining? No, it's not raining on Jonas either, but it is raining 14 minutes down the road on Torstein Thrine. But the guys up at the front, they're enjoying the sun at the moment. Actually, they probably would have enjoyed the rain a bit more. What's the gap between Pogacar and Jonas Vingegaard? It is currently 1:41. It was 9 seconds when they first attacked. It was 30 to 40 seconds at the bottom of the climb, or the bottom of the descent. And it was about a minute at the bottom of the descent. And now it's near 2 minutes. I'm waiting for an attack in this fight for third. And I'm hoping there is going to be one. Jonas looks in pain. I mean, if you were chasing down Tadej Pogacar, I think anyone was chasing him down. I think everyone would be in pain. So I feel his pain. So do I feel sorry that he has to chase down Tadej Pogacar on a climb that doesn't suit him? There's a cloud over it. Yeah, I shouldn't laugh, but it does. He hit the deck and now there's a rain cloud over the top of him. It doesn't seem to be his day. To be fair, the fight for third is very entertaining. I agree, Nick. And I hope it continues to be this way throughout the entire tour. I hope the fight for third, because if you look at the riders that are going to be fighting for third, Isaac Del Toro potentially, unless Tadej Pogacar doesn't put him to work too much, Evenepoel, provided he keeps his cool. Lipowitz will be there. Juan Ayuso will be there. Paul Sexas will be there. I think Scalmo's maybe a bit much for third. But all the riders that are fighting for third are in this group in the first mountain stage, so they're all evenly matched. Maybe Del Toro a tad bit better in form because he did use a lot of effort there on that launch for Tadej Pogacar. That's why he dropped off, but he's still able to hold the wheel. So, but then again, everyone's out of breath here. A lot of riders probably rethinking life choices. I think they are. They're probably wishing they went to the Vuelta instead. So could have went to the Vuelta and potentially won it. But I don't like. What are you meant to do? You physically cannot do anything. Like there's nothing you can do to stop him. Paul Sexas at the front of the third group. Scalmoza comes through to the front now. Remco, is that Rem? No, it's not. It's Lipowitz. Lipowitz is taking his turn at the front now. Lipowitz is at the front of this group. He's taking his turn. Oh. Sprinters only coming over the Tourmalet now. Well, they don't even have the time gap up for the green jersey anymore. It was the last time I seen it was like 26, 27 minutes. The polka dot jersey's 20 minutes down. The yellow jersey's 16 minutes down. The white jersey, Vasek, he's 9 minutes down. Sexas 2 minutes and 30. Vingegaard 1:52. So the pace has actually dropped off for Group 3. They were 25 seconds down on Jonas Vingegaard. They're now near 40. Oh. Not my hay fever, no. If you challenge Buggy to a race up the Church Road in Hollywood, how do you think it would go? I wouldn't even get on the bike. I wouldn't even get the first pedal round. He'd be up the hill and all. I wouldn't have a chance. I'd probably be out of the breath stepping onto the bike. The gap is still going out. It's not stabilizing at all. Tadej Pogacar is like he's riding up the mountain like he's out for a Sunday run. I agree. The gap is just it's 1:53 now, and it's going to keep going up. A lot of people said 2 minute gap. It's about to hit 2 minutes, and there's 6.5 kilometers to go. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That is We'd love to see Oscar Onley in the Tour. Reckon he'd be another one in the third group. Would he? I would doubt that one just because of the season that he has had so far with the amount of times he's abandoned. Maybe if with the crashes he's had, maybe if he had a good training camp before it, potentially. I wouldn't disagree, but it's just with the season and the bad luck he's having. I would have loved to see Oscar Onley here. He would have been another one I would have wanted to see here. Oh, bottle out. Oh, bottle fell out of someone's bike. Lenny Martinez near hit it, but he swerves out of the way. But, I mean, it would be interesting to see sprinters descend the Tourmalet. I don't even think the majority of them are probably struggling to hold on to the handlebars. They're that done. But Remco's at the front of this Group 3. Sexas has been taking his turns well. And he's been climbing well, and he's been working not as a teammate, but he's been working in a team with this third group. So I mean, fair play to Sexas. This is a very good show from Sexas, and I'm sure Decathlon are happy to see it as well with the fact he has no teammates. What I would love to see from Sexas, I know my prediction was from the finish 7th in GC, just because we don't know what he's like in second and third week. What I would love to see from him is if he is out of the GC, see if he wins a stage, I think that'd be brilliant. You can just imagine it. He wins a stage 19 French, Bath. L'Equipe would be having a field day with that one. Green jersey gap, 34 minutes. Lovely. Mads Pedersen. He'll be half the man he was at the start of the stage at the end of it. Have they got I'm on the multi-screen, so I don't. If they're showing the time gap along the top, I can't see it. I've got 6 time gaps in the bottom left, so I've got Tadej Pogačar 5.4 kilometers to go. Jonas Vingegaard now over 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 1 second. Sexas and Evenepoel, their group is 2:37. The white jersey's 9 minutes 10. The yellow jersey 17:08, and the polka dot jersey is 21:20. So they're the groups I've got. That's the time gaps I've got. But if you're saying the green jersey's 34 minutes down, I will take your word on that one. The day the 2026 Tour de France was won, I fear. I think you might be right. Obviously, we've still got 15 stages to go after this one. You never know what could happen in this Tour de France. But if everything stays as is, if everything goes to plan, you could be right, Kat. This could be the day the yellow jersey was won. But like I said, anything can happen. Jonas probably wishing he was home building his property portfolio. He was probably eyeing up a few properties there on the way down the descent, on the way up this climb. What stage could Jonas possibly fight back on? The only stage I can see him attempting to fight. I don't see him fighting back on, I think, the Plateau des Soleils on stage 15. Don't see him doing that because Isaac Del Toro in the Dauphiné, he obliterated that climb. So Tadej Pogačar is going to... I'm scared to see what Tadej Pogačar does to the Plateau des Soleils on. The only climb I can see Isaac Del Toro doing, attempting something is the Alpe d'Huez. But unfortunately that climb, or that stage, is stage 19. But that's the only stage I could see him potentially doing something, which is unfortunate. So it is. Imagine Sepp getting third. I mean, we haven't seen him at the front. He's been at the back. He's just been doing it. Obviously, Jonas Vingegaard up the road, so he's not going to do a single bit of work. But he'll have been recovering, and he could do a wee attack. Maybe, I don't know if he'll want to attack. I don't think he'll attack until he knows Jonas Vingegaard's across the line. But it would be very funny to see Sepp Kuss get third. I suppose that would be a positive for Visma Leasabike going forward as they get second and third. But they obviously don't get first, and they're losing over 2 minutes on Tadej Pogačar. Hope Mads makes a time limit. Me and you both, Kat. I hope he does, and I hope every sprinter makes the time cut, because the sprint, we've seen all the big heavy hit sprinters in the top 10 there yesterday. So I'm hoping we still do get to see them in the race for more sprints. Obviously, the next 2 stages are sprint stages. And then the final stage of week 1, I hope we finally get to see the breakaway. Have the leash cut and let go. This could be a 6-7 minute margin. Yeah, you're right, Kat. That's another thing, but there's the 3.5 kilometer to go, but the 3 kilometer banner is up the road for Tadej Pogačar. He's actually hitting the 3 kilometer banner now. The only reason I'm keeping on the multi-screen is because I want to see if anything happens between this third group. Pardon me. Don't forget, if you are new, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I'm going to be live for all 21 stages. So I'll be live again tomorrow for the sprint stage. And the only times I'm not live are obviously Sorry, there was a radio coming through. I didn't even hear a word that was said on the radio. But as I was saying, the only days I'm not going to be live are the rest days. But I will have a few short videos up on YouTube and TikTok, etc., recapping the weeks as they go on. But don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. It's greatly appreciated. The road to 1,000 subscribers is on at the moment. We've already got 7,500 views in this video. Jeez, that is a lot. But yeah, the support at the moment has been brilliant. So it has. So I can only thank you. It does mean a lot. But yes, back to the race. 2 minutes and 17 seconds is the gap for Jonas Vingegaard to Tadej Pogačar. And if you are just joining or you don't know what is going on, Tadej Pogačar and Isaac Del Toro attacked on the Col de Tourmalet, and Tadej Pogačar went solo. No one was able to react, and he now has a 2 minute and 15 second gap on Jonas Vingegaard. There is a group of 8 riders behind Jonas Vingegaard. They are currently down 35 seconds. They're 250 down on Tadej Pogačar. That group consists of Isaac Del Toro, Seb Kuss, Remco Evenepoel, Florian Lipowitz, Juan Ayuso, Scalmoza, Paul Sexas, and Lenny Martinez. So the battle for third is on. The yellow jersey, Torstein Thrain, he crashed on the descent of the Tourmalet. He's back on the bike though, very good to see. But he's unfortunately going to be losing out on this yellow jersey to none other than Tadej Pogačar. But they're showing Torstein Thrain's group. Riccatello's alongside him, as well as Tobias Foss. So there are 2 riders alongside Torstein Thrain. I'm sensing an attack in this third group. So I am. Lipowitz is at the front of this group. He's putting the foot down. Second wheel is Isaac Del Toro. So Isaac Del Toro has recovered. He's recovered. So he was obviously sitting at the back of this group. And when there was an attack from Remco Evenepoel, he had to make his way back. But he's been at the back of the group. It looks like he's recovered because he sat in second wheel. Am I going to do the time trial? Yeah. I'm usually don't like doing time trials, but I will definitely do. I'm not going to do the full time trial. Like, I'll do the time trial from a certain point. So keep an eye out for that. I think if you turn the bell on my channel, you'll get like a notification when I do go live. So don't forget to do that as well. But 1.8 kilometers to go now. The group of Remco, Sexas, etc. They have just hit the 3 kilometer banner. So that's how far they're down. In time wise, they're 250, but they're only hitting the 3 kilometer banner now, and Tadej Pogačar has 1.5 kilometers to go. There's another rider that the Torstein Thrain group is going to sweep up. Who is it though? It looks like it's from Q36.5. There's the Easter Bunny as well. He's made an appearance there. But Tadej Pogačar, jeez. 1.3 kilometers to go. The fans are running up alongside Jonas Vingegaard. Yeah, Tadej Pogačar's been solo for I'd say the past 40 kilometers, 45 kilometers on his own. It's crazy. Seb Kuss ever wanted the GC of a team, the EF Education or Soudal. He could have fought for the podium, but instead he chose to be the greatest super domestique of all time. Yeah, Seb Kuss as a domestique is very, very good. Right, 1 kilometer to go for Tadej Pogačar. I'm going to swap back off the multi-view. I bet you as soon as I do this, hay fever. Bet you as soon as I swap back on, there's an attack from someone. Right, 650 meters to go for Tadej Pogačar. I mean, words to sum it up, I can't even think of any. He's 500 meters. I wonder if he gets out of the saddle here, just to throw that extra final punch. The yellow jersey, Torstein Thrain, he's almost at the 20-minute mark. That's crazy. But he's going to go on to win his 23rd stage win at the Tour de France. He's getting closer and closer to Mark Cavendish's record. But he's coming around the final few bends, and I mean, he's got no one behind him. He's got no one in front of him because he is leading the race. The guy in the red car behind him has the phone out recording it because he knows that this is crazy himself. But Tadej Pogačar still putting the foot down to the final minute the final second. He gets out of the saddle himself. He's not letting up. He's not giving any seconds away. On to the final, straight. Hands off the handlebars, into the air, celebrates, crosses the line, and he wins stage 6. Tadej Pogačar wins stage 6 of the Tour de France, getting his 23rd win at the Tour de France, and he does it in some crazy style. Going solo over the Col de Tourmalet, into the descent, and up the final climb, and he does it by himself, obviously with the help of his team, etc. But I'm just talking in general. Jonas Vingegaard now, we've got the time. The time has started. It's 30 seconds currently. It is a 30-second gap already. Everyone's still at the side of the roads cheering him on. But what the time limit today? So there we go. We've got the time. The time limit has started for the riders behind. 48 minutes. They have got 48 minutes to cross the finish line. Jonas's gap is a minute already. And Tadej Pogačar is near enough on the podium. I'm only joking. He's hugging everyone. But it's near a minute and 10. He's got... I was going to say, it says 11 kilometers. That's for the yellow jersey. I was going to say, flip, what happened to Jonas? But it's 11 kilometers for the yellow jersey to the end. But Jonas Vingegaard, a minute and 20 seconds it hits. Can we get a camera on the third group maybe? I don't want to go back. They're risk it and go to the multi-screen in case there's an attack. No, I'm gonna hold it out. 500 meters until the finish for Jonas Vingegaard. He's got 500 meters, and then hopefully after this we see some action in the group for third, because the riders in that group for third are a lot of big names. Yep, Shelley, all good. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Cav was at the top of the Tourmalet, was I? But here we go, Jonas Vingegaard coming around the final few bends. 250 meters to go. The time is over 2 minutes and 10 seconds at the moment. What is it going to finish at though? It looks like it's going to be 2:30, something like that. As Jonas Vingegaard crosses the line, 2 minutes and 30 plus. Well, he's still got time to go. Might be 2 minutes and 40. 2:36, 37, 8. And he drops the head. I think he knows he's got second. And there we go. Attack out the front by Remco Evenepoel. Isaac Del Toro's the one to follow. Juan Ayuso trying to bridge the gap, but Isaac Del Toro gets that gap perfectly. He comes around the left-hand side of Remco Evenepoel, and he's going to take third on the day in the sprint, with Remco Evenepoel seeming to take fourth, but Isaac Del Toro with an absolute monster sprint. What a sprint from Isaac Del Toro to take third there. Holy. You would have thought he wasn't even helping Tadej Pogačar after that sprint. That was he spun the pedal like 2 times and he was way past Remco. But there's Jonas. He passes Tadej Pogačar, no hug or smile, and he just passes him with the head dropped. I think it is. Don't want to say it but the Tour de France has officially kicked off. Like, it took 6 stages for the GC to form, but it is forming, and the battle for first seems to be done, but the battle for third seems to be on. So it does. Kuss is the most rested for the sprint. I think he came last in that sprint. I'm going to wait for the top 10. See, well, I don't even know. It is top 10 because there was 8 in that. But I want to see where everyone else finished in that group for third. But I'm sure a lot of you are going to be hopping off now. So if you are, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. I'm going to be live tomorrow as well for the sprint stage. So I'll probably go live about final 30, 40 kilometers for it. Same as the following stage. And then I'll be live for the final stage of week 1 as well. And I'll be live again up until the final stage, finishing in Paris. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Stay up to date. And yeah, waiting for the preliminary top 10. But I know he came 3rd, 4th and 5th. But I will wait for the top 10 to show before I give those names out. Over a 2-minute deficit, not good for Jonas. Agreed. See you tomorrow. No problem, Steve. All the best. Jonas does look a bit I think he's very disappointed in that one. Brilliant stream. Poggy showed short away for a fish supper before Jonas came in. See you tomorrow. Thanks again. No problem, Ian. No problem, Rubber. No problem, Lynn. Cheers, Nick. All the best. Where's the top 10? Appreciate it, Kat. Thank you. Probably should give the rest a chance and turn up tomorrow on a 75-pound speed decathlon bike. They're not going to shoot it. Oh, no, hold up. They might actually have it already. There we go, top 10. So the top 10 for stage 6 of the Tour de France. Tadej Pogačar first, obviously. 2 minutes and 38 seconds down. Jonas Vingegaard, 2 minutes and 57 seconds down. Isaac Del Toro, Remco Evenepoel in 4th. Paul Sexas 5th. Lipowitz in 6th. Juan Ayuso in 7th. Skelmoza in 8th. Then 3 minutes and 2 seconds down. In 9th is Lenny Martinez. And in 3:06 down is Seb Kuss. So that is what the top 10 for stage 4 of the Tour de France. Stage 6, of Tour de France is looking like, as Tadej Pogačar conquers the Col de Tourmalet and wins in some style. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up the stream there. I'm not waiting to see who makes that time cut. I'm not staying here for another hour. But yeah, stage 6 done. We move on to stage 7. There's a bit of a rest now for the GC. 2 more sprint stages and then a hopeful breakaway stage in stage 9. And then we hit the first rest day. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I believe that Jonas will come back. That is, I would love to see that. That would make everything a lot more exciting. Where's Bernal then? I have not a clue. That is, we need to get the posters up for where's Bernal. Bernal is missing. He is. But yes, going to wrap up the stream here. Thank you for joining. I've been live for 2.5 hours. If you join in from the start, means a lot. If you join in there for the final 5 kilometers, something like that, it is greatly appreciated as well. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Stage 6 is over. Tadej Pogačar wins it, and we move on to stage 7. Another day for the sprinters. We will see who makes the time cut within the next hour. But apart from that, thank you for watching the Final K, and all the best.